this gunfight, and he catches Mikey looking the other way. That's a quad kill from Bride. Flies up the stairs. His teammate should be able to trade this. It's just an ump. Getty gets a 3K with an ump, and he's got the stubby out. He gets 4. What in God's green earth just happened?
As Reedsync goes into the default plant by Tetris. No more C4 anymore from the Malusi, so he's gonna have to go drive, and he gets 4. What? Both these attackers rather low. There it is, but Twizzler was actually picked up in time. 12 seconds left. Vivid still needs this 4th kill. There it is through the wall.
After's just getting the blonde down. He doesn't care, but the impact downs him. They have to go for these kills. With 3 seconds left, Silent lands the pre-fire. Nobody can kill him in time. The ace from Silent. The 1v3, 2 for Mystic now. And we're 4-3, almost tied up.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to SCS7. I'm Crow, and I'm once again joined by the lovely Klims. And Mason, we have our final day of our Swiss stage upon us.
Yeah, very exciting day. Well, almost final day. I think we have some games tomorrow.
That's
I
true.
think,
Final round.
yeah, there's one match, but final round,
Close
round
enough.
5, the ultimatum. Every team trying to either stamp their way in or they're done with SCS for the season, as next week playoffs will kick off. But tonight, Wichita Wolves and the 6 Karma Esports will be taking off against each other.
Yeah, and if we want to take a look at the journey that all these teams have had so far, this is how our bracket has shaped up. Of course, Lycus Empire and Collegiate Connoisseurs having the earliest exits, and S2 Esports upsetting Reality TV to take the first playoff spot in OXG. I think we all expected to be there. Aerial Arise, a little bit of a surprise getting knocked out this early, but IF definitely trounced them in those latter 2 maps of their best of 3. And of course, or sorry, no, that wasn't Collegiate Connoisseurs. That was EQV4.
Yeah,
Collegiate
EQ4
Connoisseurs
in the first
Yeah,
one.
Collegiate Connoisseurs got eliminated here, along with Aerial Arise and HK Rebels. Meanwhile, PB, Reality TV, and that should not be Aerial Academy. That should say LG got promoted in that group of 3, with Aerial Academy trolling me and my prediction, Elo, and everyone else who thought they were going to win. That brings us to our final 3 best of 3s. First up, Klims and I will be casting Wichita Wolves versus the Mexican team 6 Karma. Right after this will be Vipers versus Astralis, and tomorrow, IF and Aerial Academy will play for the last playoff spot. And this best of 3, very, very important. Obviously, all the rest of these games, all 3 of them are winner takes all. You either get promoted or you get eliminated.
Yeah, it's for all the marbles, right? I mean, this is the end of the season. There's nothing to lose. You got to throw out everything you've got. Don't save it for playoffs, because you got to get there first, right? So these 2 teams, they're going to be fighting, tooth and nail to the death with each other, more than likely. But I mean, how about these rosters? They've been so good throughout the season. 6 Karma, obviously, being a Mexican Pro League team. They play second in MXPL. Formerly, as well, they had a fairly different roster than what we see here, but this is like a super team of Mexican players. I mean,
Yes.
I remember Pixie and Morph going back and just being so good on that old Phoenix roster. I remember scrimming them in Collegiate and stuff like that against that team, and they were just disgusting. Akibil, I believe is how you pronounce it.
Yep.
One of the star-studded players here for 6 Karma. You've seen so many good plays, talent, everything coming from them. And 6 Karma, my personal favorite to win this matchup, but
Yeah, I was actually a little bit surprised at how the players have been performing so far, because I remember Skimzy was a Terminator in the qualifiers. Like, he was disgusting, destroying everything in his path. But over the course of the season, Akabil has been by far and away the best rated player on this team. He's boasting a 1.25 rating right now, and for a 2-2 team, that's actually really good. He's plus 17 on KD, -2 on entry. Could definitely be a little bit better, but his cost is solid, affecting 2/3 of the rounds played. His KPR is solid, just under 1, and you'll be looking at him to get those entry frags to take and make space on this team. He and Skimzy are kind of like that dynamic duo on that entry, both of them actually being -2. And up against the Wichita Wolves, who tend to be a pretty aggressive team, I think 6 Karma are going to heavily rely on those 2 players to be making space.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious for how Six Karma are going to be able to react to Wichita Wolves. Obviously, they don't have JJ anymore, so some of their strategy, especially on the defense, may be different, may be changed. But it is Fish to be filling in that spot, so a very well esteemed player, very solid entry player, and just a gunner overall. Fish really is a highlight. Even in this team who's all been together. Riot, Twizzler, Beano, Bry, the rest of this core. In week 1, I was able to cast them with Light Rose, and we saw them take down Aerial Arise ACAD. And so they're definitely able to beat some of those teams that are better. I mean, everyone thought that AAA was going to go all the way, just 3-0 straight off the rip. That didn't happen. Wichita Wolves showing that, hey, maybe they're not as good as we thought, but also showing how good Wichita really was as a roster.
Yeah, they've had some surprising games, especially the first one beating Aerial Rise Academy. Almost everyone thought AAA was going to end up winning that, and then bouncing back and completely destroying HKR. Can't say we really expected them to beat reality TV, though, and that is why they find themselves here up against the Mexican juggernauts of Six Karma. WW have had an interesting switch. You highlighted it. JJ, unfortunately, not able to play anymore because I think he's away from school and not bringing his setup with him, so Fish has to come in, and the dynamic has completely changed. Now it's no longer JJ heading the team. I think it's Beano and Riot are kind of like co-IGLing and putting Fish on entry, relegating a couple players like I think Riot to a slightly more supportive role. But I will say I expect more people to wake up. You know, Bry has been the most consistent player on the roster so far. Fish has actually performed admirably, even though he hasn't spent a lot of time with the team. He's completely even, 34 and 34, positive on entry, even with a plant. You know, because Fish can do it all. But everyone on Wichita Wolves is going to have to step up to this Mexican team, because these guys on Six Karma, I mean, you know, they may have a couple losses, right? Those losses were to really good teams. They lost to Astralis, and then surprisingly they lost to Vipers, which I didn't expect, but Vipers played really well. Also, Six Karma brought Poison to Oregon, so there's also that. But, you know, definitely don't doubt this Mexican team. I'm giving them the edge over WW. Mainly because of the loss to JJ.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. Like, the loss of JJ, some people will meme on it, but like he is a very good player. He keeps those guys together, and just has an idea of what needs to get done to go and perform, right, and to get the job done. And that's something that he does a very good job of. But missing that, it's going to be different. It's going to be a different scene that we see. Obviously, you highlighted Fish being on entry, so those are some of the things that we've seen already be changed. And with only a couple days with having Fish in the roster, I mean, maybe within the week or so, right? I assume maybe they were scrimming prior, who knows? But as it comes down into playoffs, I mean, this is, you know, do or die for Wichita Wolves. And going against a team like Six Karma, who has such a deep map pool. Like, I was going back and looking at all the maps that they played. They played Skyscraper against Collegiate. They played Bank against Astralis. They played Clubhouse. I saw Chalet. I saw the only one I didn't see was Border, which is actually pretty surprising. Out of a Mexican Pro League team, a lot of them usually tend to stride a Border. It's like, it's one of those things that you hear, like, especially in scrims and stuff, don't take Mexican teams to Border just because they're terrifying on it. They just love that map with all the angles that you can open, running around like craziness. But they have a deep map pool, and so I'll be curious to see where Wichita go and take them to, because I think Wichita's map pool a little bit less thorough than Six Karma.
Especially with the loss of JJ. But if we want to compare, again, these two teams, we can compare our highlight players. You know, Akabil was one of them, and then, of course, Bry, the highest rated player on WW, is going to be the other. Akabil, better in most of the statistical categories, better rating, better KD differential as well, even though Bry has technically more kills. Bry, however, has been a real highlight on entry. I remember when he first joined SCS, it was last season, I think, on Okami, something like that. And he did not do great. There were a lot of Bry doubters, but he's really come into his own on this Wichita Wolves roster. You know, the cost also not terrible. Survival could maybe be up a little bit more, but Bry is definitely not someone you can doubt. And I think this head-to-head Brian Akabil is going to be a major focal point of this match. Again, considering the loss of JJ, you can expect Wichita Wolves to kind of lean more into that frag potential and leave, not completely leave strategy, but of course, but put it a little bit more on the back burner. So, you know, like I was highlighting before, people like Bry, Riot, Fish are going to have to step up to, you know, Akabil, Skimzy, and the rest of 6K.
Exactly, especially with a pick such as pickup as Fish. You know, that's definitely you're gonna see Wichita going for more of those frags, going for those executes, and well, as you see, Cafe and Skyscraper bands off the rip. So you can already start to see where Wichita's map pool doesn't go as deep as Six Karma. Bank off the board as well, theme park. So none of the newer maps really making their way through, and again, you know, not a big shock. Onto Villa for Wichita Wolves, which that's the map that they beat Areola Cat on. So if they have a shot there, I mean, Villa is definitely a map that they can be successful on. Six Karma picked Villa. Wichita Wolves obviously being there. And then Wichita taking on Clubhouse, which in the most recent SI qualifier number 2, they played Clubhouse a pretty healthy amount. They actually played against the old one-shot team, which had like Slippery, Storm, Swalen, and then I think they had Not Loading and JetCon playing with them, and they were able to take them down 7-5. So Clubhouse, potentially a map that we'll start to see from Wichita, but nothing much coming from Six Karma on Clubhouse, which is curious.
Yeah, they didn't play it in the Mexican League. They haven't played it, or sorry, they didn't play it in the finals. They haven't played it here in SCS so far. Villa, an interesting pick too, considering I don't think they've played it.
I see nothing on Villa
SCS
for them either. Yeah, the only thing I see
they played it in the finals and they lost it 7-4.
Okay.
Against Alpha Team. That's the only thing that I've seen with barring the regular Mexican season. So Villa's going to be an interesting one, right? Six Karma have a loss recently to Alpha Team. They haven't played it yet in SES. Meanwhile, Wichita Wolves, Villa has always been a comfort map for JJ. They beat Aerial Rise Academy on it, but very different team now with Fish. So could be very different dynamics coming in from Wichita Wolves. Villa should be interesting. Plus, with even if you do lose JJ, Villa's a map everyone should know. There's lots of different ways to play it, so it shouldn't be losing JJ shouldn't be terrible here. I think JJ's loss will be felt a lot more on map 2.
Yeah, definitely in Clubhouse, and those require those more extensive roam clears and really taking those early gunfights, forcing those teams back. Same thing on the defensive side, right? You gotta go take those early gunfights, try to hold as much ground as possible, because it has become more difficult to defend Clubhouse than ever, at least as of late. It feels like the attacker side can really do well if the defense isn't roaming, but sometimes you're able to hold on strong. It just depends on the different defensive setups that you bring out. But these teams, though, like I said again, they're not going to be holding back anything. I think that this is a clear hidden map pick by Six Karma. And I think since they've hidden Villa for so long, potentially not showing in SCS, not even showing in the qualifiers. The only thing that I've seen from Six Karma on qualifiers was an 8-7 loss to Above the Law on Clubhouse. So that's the most recent Clubhouse data we have on them. Villa, nothing. So you have no idea what to expect coming against this team on Villa.
Yeah, and as you can see, most of us, except Joe, think Six Karma is going to win. Joe with the Wichita Wolves pick is really interesting. I'll have to ask him about that. And also, you can see John Fellows at 77%. I don't know why this is wrong every time. I am tied with him. I am tied for first. I don't know what's wrong with the graphic.
I think you're just mad at it.
I'm looking at the sheet right now. John has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, he has 7 wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wait, I also have 7 wrong. Yeah, we're tied. Get it right, producer Zay Show. It's not Ferme anymore. I can't blame Ferme. I can blame Zay Show, though. I'm happy doing that.
You blame them both.
Nah.
They're both still around.
Ferme is more experienced, so I'm going to make fun of Zay Show.
That's
also,
true.
Zay Show
That's
doesn't
fair.
live in the U.S.
Dude, you're just harping on him like crazy.
I am. I hate that guy.
Just going
Give me
at
my
him.
prediction points.
I hate that guy too.
All good though. Loading
Only
into Villa.
10%.
Teams are ready. Interested to see what the bans are. We saw some really cool bans yesterday, you and I, with that AAA game. We saw a smoke ban.
Smoke ban.
We saw a Twitch ban, which turned out to be a target ban because Uzi was rocking that operator almost every single round. But as you can see, the community also thinks that 6K is going to win because, we can kind of, we're reasonable human beings.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
I just think that with not having, JJ in the roster, again, it's the biggest focal point, but that's kind of the biggest talking point we really have about Wichita Wolves. It's something that, is different, and it definitely makes it more of an advantage for Six Karma. Dokkaebi off the board. I feel like we've been seeing that less lately.
Well, we've also
like it.
We've also been hearing that with Nook becoming weaker now that Solus is out, Dokkaebi is kind of a prime attacker, especially because, and not a lot has changed about her. She's still a great roam clear op because of those, because of the calls. You know, they make a lot of sound. She's still a great op because she can hack cams. What's really sent her over the edge is now her phone calls affect your dead defenders. So even if, so remember before, dead defenders can hop on cams, the calls only act on people who are alive. Now it affects everyone in the lobby. And even if all the alive defenders turn off their cell phones, dead ones still have to wait the entire duration. That's really, you know, made Dokkaebi go from like a good op to now one of the best roam clearers in the game. Her pick rate has skyrocketed, and with Wichita Wolves no longer having JJ and probably wanting to play a more aggressive game, the ban definitely makes sense.
But you do leave up Jackal
and Lion, who are both now being played in tandem. With a Finka.
Which is just mean, because imagine you get Jackal tracked and then you get Lion Scan.
I
so
do
now
not want to get
stuck and getting pinged.
I would not want to get roam cleared by Twitch, Lion, Jackal, and Finka.
Yeah, and let alone by Morphed and Pixie running like
Which
he's
one
off the
and
Jackal.
Akabil's Finka. Oh no.
They need the nades. They need the nades, which is fair.
Yeah. What's cool too is the Hibana to Flores. So they figure, you know, I mean, if Wichita Wolves are going to roam this hard, if Six Karma can punish it, to hell with Hard Breach. Just take that man advantage onto site. AVG is one of the few sites in the game, really, where you don't actually need Hard Breach.
Yeah, it's less likely that you really need it, because most teams opt to open up that map's wall, so it becomes difficult to go open the bar wall, right? If you're going for a direct steady take, it's very difficult to be able to do that. You might be able to punish someone by baiting like a Hard Breach gadget on there. More than usual, you'll see teams go 90 side with the Hard Breach gadget, with a Hard Breach or a Hard Breach gadget or anything like that. Here, though, by Six Karma, you don't even see that. They're going for this direct clear. They're using the Flores. They're going to abuse the hell out of it. But also, Wichita, they're bringing plenty of operators to stop the Flores. You have mute jammers all around the map. You also have Fish, who's running the Mozzie, an operator we don't see quite often. But this feels like older meta, Crow, where this is, you know, mute Mozzie, right? This is the meta that we all talked about. It's that information denial meta, and maybe Wichita Wolves kind of falling back into old times, old habits without JJ, but to stop this information that Six Karma are trying to grab.
Info comes in as well as the destruction, but Twizzler's on the main stairs. He stops Akabil from walking up. Raya, another kill of his own, and the main stairs push dusted by Wichita Wolves. Trades coming in from Bry as well to shut down all the study players, and Wichita Wolves successfully hold on to the front end of the building, leaving Morphed in a 1 versus 3. Seemed like Six Karma just didn't advocate enough utility to that push, really just went off of the Flores drone, and Bry a third now through that punch hole he was playing, and that gives a very swift round 1 to the Wolves.
An easy round there. Nothing to deal with that main stairs clear for Six Karma. They didn't throw the flashbangs up there. You know, that's where you want to see something like a Ying being brought out, right? So that it can help you clear out those main stairs, alleviate some of that pressure. Maybe even use a nade and try to get it up there as well. Instead, they tried to take the fights and end up just losing out in that flurry of kills. That's what happens, and Wichita are going to continue to hold that main series, especially if you see that that is the main side take. Then that's how you need to hold it. You need to rotate as many bodies there, stop Six Karma from grabbing that book's control, and you saw it prove them to be successful.
I'm a little interested as to why we haven't seen Solus in the first couple rounds. She's a really good operator on Villa. There's plenty of verticality and soft destruction here. Villa is also a map that thrives off of cutoffs, especially when you're doing a full map clear. Cutoffs are oh so important, and Solus, you know, removes that ability to play with. So maybe we'll see her in future rounds. But for now, Wichita Wolves sticking to what they know. Now bring Capcan out. Riot donning the new operator, or sorry, not the new operator, but new operators to this map. Fish on Oryx as well, so continuing this roam-heavy style of play from the defense. Six Karma looked like they were going to start bringing an IQ to counter the Valkyrie, but instead he'll swap to Nomad, which makes me think it's going to be a full map clear. I mean, they could also go for a Master Direct and just, you know, air jab like Brick's Door and Bathroom and Astro Stairs and such. But It looks like maybe they have both. There's people spawning on both sides.
It's weird because there's no Mute or Mozzie being brought out, but 6 Karma completely ignoring the Flores now. And you would have thought that maybe if they brought a drone inside, that they would see that there's no Mute Mozzie, and they could have just gone for a direct take, bullied their way in a master more than likely. But Fish, prone on the front door, able to bring down Akibio. And, I mean, hey, free kill, right? Doing some rat things, but that's how you need to play against the 6 Karma team. They're going to run all around you, and I think that Akibio was just trying to shoot the default camera, and I'm getting punished for it. So, needs to go through, burn out that brick shield, and here's where Wichita Wolves, they just got to hold on to sight. But 6 Karma quickly making work of some of this defensive util already being set out.
But the Capcan trap, speaking of defensive util, left unchecked. Skimsy walks right on through the bathroom door and is punished. A 3 versus 5 without Wichita Wolves having to do much. The defense now has to deal with an open master wall as Jack puts the X-Kairos on, but there's an impact to answer, and all of those X-Kairos just got finished off. He's now left with only 1 shot, so 6 Karma can open an angle, but not an avenue. Pixie at least gets the first frag for his team onto the Boar cutoff window. He downs and finishes Bry. That means there's no more C4 in play for this defense, but the smoke is still alive and well. The time is ticking. I love the way Wichita Wolves have been playing this. They've been ratting, they've been bringing the fight to 6 Karma, shutting down their entry fraggers really early on, and denying all of the hard breach.
And now they're just stuck here in bathroom. They have to walk through doorways. 6 Karma, there's nothing you can do but walk through a door. You're going to send Pixie to the Astro window to try to aid Jack into getting into Astro. But again, this is going to be difficult for 6 Karma. There's no flashbangs for Jack to work with. But Pixie does have some of their own. But yet again, I mean, look, the Capcan trips nearly catching him out. The smoke grenades going through, denying any sort of entry. So 6 Karma, they're stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Morph has made his way deep, though, but that's just the Gemini clone. He's not actually physically there to go take advantage of some of that ground he gained, and now Jack is going to have to grab these kills. But a smoke grenade in hand from Twizzler is what kicks off this Astro control. Pixie able to find one as well, and things all of a sudden on the back foot for Wichita Wolves. 25 seconds left, and they have astronomy control. All they need to do is walk on into the bomb site and get this diffuser down. Morph will try to go and hit the flank on the backside, but it's Jack to find 2 inside a trophy, or statuary rather, as they walk on through, going for the kills rather than the plant, and a great play by 6 Karma to recover that round.
A fantastic play from Jack to walk in, and Wichita Wolves really dropping the ball. They had every advantage in the world with a 5 versus 3, denying all the hard breach. Now the attack is, like you said, relegated to pushing through doorways. All they needed to do was sit still. The kill on Debray is kind of whatever, but Twizzler not expecting the Hibana to get aggressive and just walk right into Astro, and Fish with a really unnecessary flank. Probably the most unnecessary flank I've ever seen in my life. You are up 4 versus 3. I mean, what do we always say? Never flank with man count. You just don't need to. Because there's going to be dead defenders on flank drones. All you need to do is hold crossfires on the doorways that the attackers have no choice but to walk through. But instead, he isolates himself, gets spotted out by Pixie, and leaves the defense now in a 2 versus 3. No longer do Wichita Wolves have the advantage of those crossfires. Both the defenders were rather isolated, kind of on opposite sides of the site, and Jack just won his ones. So Wichita Wolves hopefully know exactly what went wrong there. And now the Solus is coming out from Riot, which I do like. He's already making use of it.
Yeah, I think it's perfect time to bring out the Solus, get rid of those drones and some of that information 6 Karma are relying on, and 2 drones down, and many more to go here. 4.
Oh my god.
Wichita, but
he took out 3
things slowly. 3? Oh yeah, 3. No, wait, 2, because the Twitch drone...
Well, no, but she still gets one in prep, so you start with 9.
Oh, you're right.
9 normal drones.
Right.
So
9. Yep, 6. My math is bad. You're right.
That's actually pretty fantastic.
Right. That's a lot of intel.
Dude.
I mean, technically you get a bonus from the Twitch drone, but like still, you're getting rid of a lot of that info.
Yeah, 3 drones in prep is pretty tremendous. And Wichita Wolves no longer bringing the cap cans, so they don't have a freebie, but they are bringing an additional C4 along with Bry. The Nomad has already hopped into bathroom pretty early on, looking to set up air jabs and prevent anyone on the defense from pushing on through and disrupting the master clear. And for the first time, 6 Karma get the leadoff pick. Morphed, not sure where he's at, but he ends up killing Bino, and Skimzy just walks on in. Bry gets one refrag, but can't find the second. Akabil's now made his stake and trophy, and Bry can't walk through the statue door thanks to the coverage from Jack. A C4 does down the Hibana and drop the case carrier, but it's no kill, and now they know Fish is downstairs.
Akibio getting this plant down is Fish going to be tasked with a 1v4, 1v3 essentially with Jack being down but not out, but I think they're pretty aware here of the positioning that Fish is in, but the newest member for Wichita obviously filling in for JJ. Tough task ahead of him. 30 seconds left to try to hop on this diffuser. He's being swarmed right now by the 6 Karma defenders. Has to fight through everything. I mean, even the Lion Scan will get one, but dropped by Pixie. So Fish not able to complete the 1v4. Just getting one kill and a DBNO. And 6 Karma just hitting the site, going quick, making it happen.
Yeah, it's like they got the first kill on Dabino, and they were like, all right, boys, they can't stop us now. I just walked into sight, probably knowing Fish was not on site too, even before the C4 went down. Wichita Wolves were pretty spread out, and 6 Karma took what was essentially like a 5v2, 5v3. Wichita Wolves, they kind of kept in line with the trade game for a little bit, but once Akabil just waltzed into Trophy and took his kill, it all fell apart, leaving Brian Fish off-site and alone up against an attack, putting the case down, and having to play retake in a heavy man disadvantage. So those trophy defenses clearly not going as planned, even though they should have won one of them. They'll go back to AVG, where they started things off with a win, only with even more delay power now with both a Smoke and a Goyo.
Probably the right way to play this. I feel like that with that Goyo, they're going to be able to at least hold off any other ports of the map. I don't think 6 Karma are going to want to test that main stairs clear, especially with how poorly it went. They're not even making crazy adaptations. I saw a Blackbeard pick. I almost got excited. Oh, I was hoping Skimzy was going to stick it.
Why do
but
you get excited about a Blackbeard pick?
Because it's funny. It's funny because people just get so mad over Blackbeard. Like, I don't know what it's just frustrating because there's a shield in your face, and I feel like it's someone we never see. I like new things, Crow. I like new things. The Ying is new, so at least Akibio might be able to take advantage of that, and maybe they will go for a main stairs take.
Yeah, I mean, not a soul has spawned master side, so you can definitely bet there's another bottom-up main stairs take. Wichita Wolves have appeared to read into it, though, maybe? I don't know if this was just a default pick for Bino because he wants an MPX 1.5, or if they read into the Ying. Either way, he will direct counter Akabil unless he just straight up loses the fight. I do like Wichita Wolves still leaning into the C4s as well. They've still got 2, just like they had in their original AVG defense, but the Smoke is not the one playing on main stairs. Rather, it's Riot, and with the Flores drone coming in, it takes out the main stairs shield really early on. Luckily, this time 6 Karma aren't just going to try and walk in off of it.
Well, thankfully, they've waited and hesitated so far, but the Ying waiting in arms to try to walk up the main stairs. It would be Riot having to deal with this position, but we've seen him play main stairs plenty of times, especially in the AAA game. We've seen him hold it down there as well. Twizzler has also been someone who's very good and handy with the shotgun, but there's so much for 6 Karma to worry about when walking up these main stairs, especially every single angle and hole that's been made. Morph will try to send a nade up, but it's not going to find anyone. Bino and Bry to find picks for themselves. The flashes will come through, so it'll be harder to walk up the main stairs, but they're forced to walk through the gas. Twizzler with the swing will bring down Akibio. Twizzler finding a second on the Morph just to find a third on the Pixie will do so. And Wichita Wolves just crushed the main stairs take yet again.
Wonderfully played by Twizzler, backing off at just the right time, but also got to give it up to Bry, holding on to Study, getting that first pick onto Jack, and that's where the dominoes started falling. So even though 6 Karma didn't do it as soon, they still kind of tried to go for the same strategy, only with a Ying this time. Clear the Study utility, flash main stairs, and walk into Study and up main at the same time. And just like last time, it simply did not work. Wichita Wolves are holding on to Study. Twizzler is staring at main stairs. and you are simply not going to win that fight walking through a toxic gas canister. Wichita Wolves smartly going down to dining rather than trophy. We do not want to see trophy again unless they are forced to go there, aka, well, if they win this round, but if they're up 3-2, then it's more acceptable. The Cap Can making a resurgence, except instead of Riot this time, it's Twizzler. I do like how Wichita Wolves as well, knowing that they're playing against a Mexican team who sometimes like to hit the crouch walk, are bringing Valkyrie really consistently. And the Solus is back once again, who I expect might even be roaming in the basement.
Yeah,
he's also
you've got
rocking the
Bino
shotgun.
running the shoddy. I was gonna say that, and the ITA or the IDA. I don't know how you say it, but I think it's the ITA. Technically, it's like IDA 12 or something like that. It is not known for its killing impact.
It's
ability.
not great.
It's definitely not.
It's
the
okay.
M590 at close, but it can't do the damage. Fish.
That is
He's
ballsy.
so upset he doesn't have that kill though, because that's the ace. That's the hard breacher. So Jack at least will be less like confident in peeking things, but him following it definitely could have been disastrous for 6 Karma, especially because they want to go for this pantry wall, get this thing open quite off the rip. But Riot with the impact denial will just stop it from getting open, be able to do it again. More than likely send Bino over here as well, but no, it's actually gotten open. So the impact missed. The second one will hit, but this wall's still open. So it's going to be a little bit more tricky. It's another thing for Wichita Wolves to worry about. But 6 Karma, it looks like they're going to go for this vertical clear. I think it's the right way to go, especially having Skimzy being able to deny these Valkyrie cameras, the information. But there are C4s and also Solus who will be kind of doing this dance here with Skimzy, more than likely trying to take these guys out. But Twizzler,
I thought
really
Twizzler, yeah, I thought he just saw someone on the balcony, but didn't re-engage. Akabil going down first thanks to the roam from Bry too. We talked about how a lot of this game might be Bry versus Akabil, those two spearheads on either side, and right now Bry is winning. Bino gets severely softened up, but lives to fight another day, and 6 Karma do take the upstairs control. Fish is looking to retake it. Lurking on the red stairs, will also shoot the drone before his teammate is spotted hiding behind Skull and Games. That's Twizzler also looking to retake this control. If 6 Karma don't have adequate cutoff drones set up, they could pay the price, and with a Solus on the board, there's definitely a chance of that.
Especially with this 90 presence in play, especially Twizzler here, sitting here
have
in
no
maps.
clue.
Will take the swing, will break down the ace. So already a kill, dropping that diffuser, does get refragged, but I mean, time wasted. It's just annoying here for 6 Karma. Fish still roaming around. Things don't look great for 6 Karma right now, trying to get on inside. Now, thankfully, you don't need that hard breach gadget to really get inside of anywhere. Most of everything can get opened up here by 6 Karma. They still have plenty of soft destruction, but they have to get an avenue into the bomb site, and with less numbers to get inside, as well as more support coming from Fish, who's lurking around, 6 Karma, they're going to have a tough task trying to crack in.
All Wichita Wolves really need to do now is just hold. Don't get over-aggressive and give 6 Karma the opportunity to get picks. This is a great crossfire holding these two attackers right now outside of Bike. That gives Fish the opportunity to swing, but he loses it. Bino dead as well. Everyone on the attack is walking in and winning their fights. 6 Karma take round 5. I don't understand. The Wolves had every possible angle accounted for, but none of them can hit their shots.
I think it came off of that player in mud. I mean, they had 6 Karma literally spinning in circles inside of China, trying to figure out where are they getting shot from, how can we cover each other, and Wichita just no one hit anything. And when you don't hit your shots, you're going to lose rounds, especially against a Mexican Pro League team like 6 Karma. This is a team known for hitting their shots. They're all gunners. They've all been gunners as long as they've been in the Mexican circuit, and they're doing it now. So Wichita, you gotta hit the aim labs. You gotta hit the aim labs, especially before a game like this. You gotta be able to hit those shots, because especially the Malusi who was in mud. I don't remember who was on the Malusi, but whoever that was the biggest downfall to Wichita losing that round, because if Riot could have at least gotten one of those kills, I don't think that 6 Karma would have been able to bully their way in through China. You also had one flanking through Memo, and just there was no one holding that either, or they lost their fight. There was no support. You have a 4v3 you should have the numbers advantage. You should be able to get those refrags. Those trades not coming through, very detrimental to Wichita.
Yeah, because not only did you have Riot swinging in from Bike, but Fish, like, came through China Door to try and support. If either of those players just wins their fight, then they win the round, because that means Bry doesn't have to take his eyes off Memo to try and watch China. Like that, a comedy of errors. And now 2 rounds. Now Wichita Wolves should have won and like had the angles to win and just didn't capitalize because they couldn't hit their shots. That's 2 rounds now. This should be 4-1.
And I haven't loved Six Karma's attacks. Like, I don't think they've been great. I don't think there's been anything stellar. I think Wichita Wolves are just messing up so bad that they're allowing for Six Karma to just win. The Six Karma are a team that they'll strive off their gunfights and win those gunfights, and Wichita just not doing so. I hate to harp on it and continue to harp on it, but it's a big thing. And Six Karma, they haven't brought anything crazy out on their attacks. Wichita just don't have an answer for just getting shot.
And now Akavil has his first opening pick. After dying 3 times on entry, he finally gets one back onto Fish. The Amaru comes up through 90, take some really early control, was just droning out and making sure it was clear, and saw that the WW defenders were falling back. Now Six Karma have made their stance on the south side of the map. Now they'll begin to clear over and probably send Jack solo towards Master to try and open that wall. Flank cutoffs established now by the Nomads' air jabs. They've been playing off the Lion pretty well too. The Lion has been an integral part of their like site walk-ins and fights won. The Amaru, wow, already peeking into the site, taking out Evil Eyes and Utility along the way. C4 from downstairs. That was Bry's, the only C4 in the lobby. Now missing. Right, it's kind of not stuck, but sticking himself in walk-in closet. And Akavil finds a second, killing Bry, who is still downstairs after that C4. Nade goes up, but will miss. Twizzler now feeling the pressure thanks to the Repel player, gassing off Boar, knows that there's some split going on and that he can't allow either of these sides to just walk their way in. Riot with a nice kill from that bricks doorway onto Akavil will shut down the sledge, but there's more for the refrag. Now Twizzler and Bino are kind of stuck on opposite sides of the site.
Twizzler's going to be ever so important to sit here and hold this position, but there comes the swing from Skimzy, and now it's Bino left alive in a 1v4 inside a bathroom. It seems like their position's well aware and known. Now they especially know where he is. Jack will lose out their fight. Triple wall closed, so no one able to support him, but the diffuser's gone down. Bino has to win these fights. It's not going to happen against the LMG of Skimzy, and Wichita Wolves using 4 defenses, and a side that they should have came out on top. Six Karma now in plenty of an advantage going to the defensive half.
Yeah, like I said, this should be 4-2 right now if Wichita Wolves could just hit their shots. That last round, giving up early picks, roaming around, you know, Six Karma so far, if there's anything we've learned about Six Karma, it's that if they see their opportunity to simply walk into sight, they will, and they are aware of the flanks. And Wichita Wolves have now kind of fallen into that trap multiple times, with Bry playing downstairs solo late into the round, even though a nade came up from to try and blow someone up from under Astro. And the positioning from Wichita Wolves, you know, with little to no refragability. We'll see if they improve on their attack, but like you said, Six Karma's attacks were not really anything terribly special. I think it was just down to having better gun skill when it really mattered.
Yeah, and especially for them picking Villa and not having those special, like, wholehearted attacks, it's weird. Like, they couldn't do a main stairs clear. They had these weird clears for Trophy Saturated that just didn't go very well, and Wichita just kind of threw away the rounds, so that's why Six Karma really came out on top. But on a map like Villa, which you do see kind of some strat-based things come out, Six Karma didn't bring anything new, anything innovative. They just did defaults at that. And even then, some of those defaults weren't ran in a super efficient manner. And now on their defensive half, I expect to see some differences and different things. As you can see that bar wall being opened up, the aviator extension going through. But they're going to have to fight and deal with this closet clear that will take place, and Skimzy to fall early on.
Great opening pick from Fish to shut down another big fragger for Six Karma. He had a C4 in pocket too. only C4 on the defense and one of your 2 AVG players. So if Wichita Wolves decide to push that side of the map, instead of having to run through 2 players, it's just Akabil there, I assume, with that DMR to stop them. But doesn't seem to be the idea for this attack. Mainly concerned with the Master Direct. They do spot 1 player down below. Interestingly enough, it's Pixie on a roaming smoke.
Yeah, roaming away. Pixie, hopefully, able to get these frags, slow down as much of the time. That's what the smoke is down here for, and not for that site execute, not for that time denial upstairs at the very end of the round, but rather this mid-round denial and trying to slow down this Wichita attack. But if he doesn't throw those gas grenades and doesn't win this fight, it will be all for naught. And now it's down to Akibio. No, it's Morph. He's actually downstairs. The Solus, who's going to try to go get that refrag. That doesn't happen, though, and a minute and a half boils down in the round for this execute to potentially come from Wichita.
Now, what 6K do have is potential longevity with this dock. Jack is holding on to this master wall. He's got those heals, so if he gets damaged, he can easily put himself back to full HP, but the wall is going to be opened, and Jack is forced to fall back. Morph has a spot on an air jab. It looks like he'll ping it for his team. Maybe Akabil can shoot it out, but I don't really expect anyone on this defense to go for a flank anytime soon. They need to consolidate and hold here, just like Wichita Wolves were unable to do. And maybe Six Karma can still come away with the round, despite it being a 3 versus 5. They don't have utility to play with, though. This is going to come down to just raw gunfights. But if those attacks are anything to be learned from, Six Karma can definitely still keep up.
They've got the shot here, 30 seconds coming down to this execute now, and they're just holding tight on in the bomb site. Wichita Wolves, they're going to try to force their way and bully on through Astro, but this shield inside a trophy may aid Akibil so well. A nade to come through, but it misses. It's actually a smoke to block off this corridor, but Akibil able to spray through and down them. Wichita Wolves are funneling into their own deathbed, and it continues to fall. Bino, the last member alive for Wichita, Twizzler has down but not out, and has to try to win 3 fights in 3 seconds. It's not going to happen. Six Karma with their first defensive round, and again, another round Wichita should have come away with. They had a 5v3 in the round, but their execute just poorly not planned, and this comes when you miss an IGL like JJ.
Yeah, I think it's really punishing them. You know, these calls that Wichita Wolves are making are questionable, to say the least. Not just their positioning on defense, but now their positioning on attack. They had a tremendous advantage leading into that execute. They had the wall open. They had all 5 up. It was a 5v3. And instead of like working through the wall, pushing bricks, maybe having someone solo stat, they decide to stack 4 people in Astro against a shield. Like, I don't really get it. Not only against a shield, but against a shield who had long angle support from a dock. Like, it's just odd. That's the only way I can describe it, is odd. The IGL decision from Wichita Wolves are weird at best, and clearly it's hurting them. This should be a flipped scoreline. If they hadn't like trolled positioning or trolled gunfights and executed like actual human beings, this would be 5-2 in their advantage. They would be shutting us all up right now. But so many times they are just getting punished for like silly little mistakes. And someone has got to help Bry. I don't know what else to say. Sex Karma now on AVG, you know. They'll continue with their defensive cycle. Bring a Frost this time. Have Solus roaming down below. Central position underneath that site. Making sure that it's going to take every bit of effort for the Wolves to get this bottom up clear. Bry will start droning in. He'll likely spot this Solus soon and understand what's going on this bottom floor. He doesn't know if there's anyone else joining that operator, though, as Morph has now claimed 2 drones. There are 5 left for this attack with 2 minutes remaining. That is pretty terrible drone management. You know, I guess not completely their fault because there is a Solus, but still, it's something that the attack should be adapting to instead of just running their drones in to die. And Morph is able to get back to site completely safely, and unless the Wolves dedicate more drones to this, it might be a little bit before they discover that this entire bottom floor is clear and right for the taking. Was that? I think that was through the floor. Twizzler with a down through the floor, I believe, but unfortunately for him, no confirmed kill. Almost gets it with the nade, but of course he can't know the timing on that. He doesn't really have any info to work off of. He's just nading defaults. Wondering if he should peek into that Malusi. He'll eat some damage. I know someone's watching that angle, but be unable to kill him on the re-swing. He's out of nades as well. So is Bry. So little to no explosive presence now leading into the last minute in a 5 versus 5. Maybe a 5v4 if Morph gets finished off. But again, it's a down, but no kill for this attack. Oh, okay. Well, now we know why, I think that was Pixie. Now we know why he wasn't reacting to that drone, because he simply didn't need to. There's coverage up above from Skimzy, and that kills Bry, the top fragger for Wichita Wolves. That leaves WW in a bit of a harrowing situation. 4v4, I mean, they have low HP on some of these defenders, but they've got to just walk through doorways. That's a great pick onto Jack. You get the guy cutting off Study. They've still got to worry about Morphed in that corner, and now the players who have backed off to hold Skull. Bino takes some heavy punishment. Morphed looking for the prone Twizzler, finds the sledge. Fish now dead, and everyone in the attack is falling. It's another successful round for 6 Karma as the Wichita Wolves walk into their deaths.
They walk to their deaths through in Study, and again, a common theme for Wichita. They just continue to walk in and lose their fights, and they can't do anything. They can't get an execute put together. And right now, that co-IGL system just not working out. There seems to be some disagreements as 6 Karma are walking all over Wichita.
Just poor angle management from Wichita Wolves and great angle management from 6 Karma. Not only using that downstairs, those through the floor angles to the downstairs to really pressure that sledge, but also the bait and switch. The drone staring at the smoke on the staircase, and it was a bait. Like, I guarantee, I think it was Pixie. I guarantee Pixie knew that he was being watched, but he trusted his teammate of Skimzy to watch those downstairs angles, and they baited Bry perfectly. I mean, sure, Skimzy got refragged, but damage done. It allowed Pixie to get back into the site, play off his gas canisters. I mean, the crossfires were perfect. It's a real struggle for the Wolves right now, and they face down the barrel of match point. Or map point, rather.
Yeah, and I mean, this is 6 Karma's map pick, but for Wichita, I would have thought that they liked Villa at least more. I know that JJ was kind of like one of those Villa connoisseurs. He loved Villa, and he was very good at it. Wichita obviously not having him, that makes things very different for this team, but they should still be left with some of those philosophies brought in by JJ and some of those ideologies that he's brought to this team. For them to struggle so much, especially on their attacks and executes, it makes me concerned for a map like Clubhouse. Going to that map, that's a map where you've got a lot to deal with when it comes to executing it. If you can't do it on Villa, you're surely not going to be able to do it on Clubhouse.
Yeah, like it's one of those maps where everyone should know what goes into defaults, but it doesn't mean the defaults are like terribly easy. And the lack of an IGL could potentially make coordinating those defaults a little difficult, especially if there's like a bandit trick or hard to find cage spots or whatever. We saw a great shot from Bino to take out the C4 of Jack. He's still being pinged, but Twizzler gets the opening frag onto Akabil quite literally. Must have been a great toss. Wichita Wolves have a lead. They've yet to truly be able to capitalize, though, at least consistently. I'm hoping we see that here as they now get to open that master wall pretty soon into the round.
That master wall,
I think he just stepped
already
in a frost
open.
mat.
It's going to make things more difficult.
Yeah,
more
he
than
did.
likely. Yeah. That's what happens when you walk in a closet and that triple wall is open. You have to worry about, okay, do I fight the triple wall angle? Do I go hit the frost mat? And Bry is just going to walk into the angle anyway, so double damage done. Jack, though, the post to fall, so none of that below
Wait, what?
presence. And, actually, wait.
Nah,
Fish
now
is
he's
just...
dead.
What?
And now Ace is dead.
What?
Like, Riot is
Wichita,
just...
I mean, what are you guys doing?
Riot is just chilling in a Banshee, I guess, with no help. Like,
Fish was just vibing inside.
I don't think Fish knew that guy was
What?
there, so he was just staring at the wrong angle. Like, I kind of get the play they were going for, but
I feel
it
like
was just poorly executed.
I feel like going for like a site execute. If you're gonna be in the site, right, instead of going and destroying a bulletproof cam, make sure the whole site's clear first. Like, go, you know, like if you don't know site's fully clear or not, maybe there was just a bad call out. It could have been just poor droning done by someone on Wichita.
Yeah, maybe they thought Pixie wasn't in that corner. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just that is so sad for Wichita, because this another round where they more than likely should have gotten away with it, and a misplay, a mistake, just again fumbling for them, and they've had so many mistakes, so many of these close rounds where they've had opportunities. Now they do bring it down to a 2v1, so it's definitely doable. It's very possible, but against a player like Pixie, who's top frag for their team right now, you've got the SMG-11, you've got a shotgun. I mean, definitely very doable weapons, and this diffuser still has to go down. The sledge to go on through, and Twister will fall. Bino's gonna have to get this kill. He does so, though. So he'll save the round for Wichita Wolves, salvage it for his team, and at least they stay in it, but still, I don't love their odds when they have to go back and attack Aviator Games and Trophy Statuary yet again.
That was really, really close. That was a fantastic attempt from Pixie as well. 3 kills on the mute, I believe, shutting down Fish in sight, turning around and killing Riot, and then putting himself in a 1 versus 1. But that clear from WW, it did get the necessary kills. That sledge work as well from, I believe, from Twizzler. Got the equalizer, or sorry, not the equalizer, got the kill to put them in the 2v1, finding the leg of Morph. So even though they were really low on time, the sledge work from Twizzler really put them in that possibility for a winning position. So Wichita Wolves, you know, showing some gumption, some wherewithal, but it's still going to be tough against 6 Karma. Pixie has been a standout performer so far. 11, you know, we were talking a lot about Skimzy and Akabil and how influential they were going to be against a frag-heavy Wichita Wolves, but Morphed and Pixie have really, really shown up, especially Pixie.
Really, the whole roster. I mean, everyone's shooting to some extent. Skimzy is barely negative, but he's had his moments. Akabil, lower on the leaderboard than what we typically see. Usually it's kind of the standout performer for 6 Karma, but even then, any of these players will shoot on any day, and Pixie and Morphed are players who have been so consistent throughout their careers of MXPL. To see them doing it today, it's not a surprise, especially on a decider match. You know, whether you're going to playoffs, you're not going to playoffs. I mean, these are big things that you need to do, and these players have been in positions like this plenty of times, so it's not a surprise to see them showing out and performing.
Yeah, so far the highlight for 6 Karma has not only been Pixie, but the fact that every time Wichita Wolves has made like the tiniest of silly mistakes, they instantly pounce off it and pretty much win the round. However, a tiny mistake from Skimzy will cost him his life. Fish was on the early cutoff angle. Skimzy unaware of it as he was barricading the skull door, so that gives the first frag to the Wolves. They also take out the only C4 on the roster, so really great pick, and makes sure they're safe. If they're going for that default plant spot, they don't have to worry about any wayward explosive coming their way.
Well, they don't have to worry about that. They do have to worry about Morph, though, who is on the Solus. That is one of their brief concerns potentially for Wichita as well, though. Like we've been in the past, Harrison, with their executes, they had a good opportunity to win trophy the first time around. It just fell down to all of them flooding through study and no one wanted to get a refrag. The same thing may actually happen here as well. They've got the opening pick. They've got what they need. They're starting to get a lot of this master control, and they have that vertical control. So there's a potential for the plant to come down and the execute to come through. It's just all about actually doing so. There's no smoke grenades being brought out. All they have are flashbangs and 2 grenades. They have so many breaching charges based off of the kit they brought. But Fish, able to find a second now, bring down Akabil. Might be able to find a third here on the Pixie if he's able to land the shots through the wall. But this is what you need. Again, Wichita, though, they've been in this position before. They just need to get this execute down.
Oh, Fish is just going off on this poor
window.
Dude, it sounded like just like listening to the shots that came out, it sounded like he smoked Akabil too. So a triple kill for Fish. Jack clearly not aware that the board wall was a little bit open for Fish to be able to get that angle. And all Fish needs to do is continue to sit on this cutoff as there's the rest of the team coming in, taking control of that bomb site. Bino puts Pixie in a 1 versus 5. He kills Fish on that cutoff, but takes a significant portion of damage swinging that wall, and Bino finishes him off. A buddy ace for Fish and Bino to keep WW alive.
This is what I want to see from Wichita Wolves. I want to see them work together, and Fish just sitting on that window, getting all of those frags is just mistakes from Six Karma, just not recognizing your surroundings, right? Fish got 1 from that window, found a second, and even a third. Like, there's no way. And now some of it's just, like, not being aware that there's a hole in the wall. Some of it's just positioning, things like that, rotations being cut off. But Six Karma now starting to show some of their flaws, their mistakes here, and Wichita Wolves, kind of what Six Karma was doing to them earlier, now we're able to expose and do to Six Karma.
2 more rounds to go, though. Can they put both together? And they'll try and start on Living Room Library. Okay.
Interesting.
I
haven't seen this site in a while.
One of the least played sites in the entire competitive pool. Less so than Barstock, less so than mining, because it revolves so much on your AVG hold. It revolves so much around how well you can hold the top floor, and it's tough. Because you still have to have people dedicated on that bomb site. It is tough to hold AVG on this extension. There's so many opportunities for someone from Wichita Wolves to like sneak in, find a nice long angle to cut off one of the defense because of all these open like horizontal angles that the defense has preset for themselves. The attackers can use too. But if you're not prepared to attack this site, if you've never scrimmed it, you can get overwhelmed pretty easily. As you can see, there are like cross-map crossfires being set up right now.
Yeah, I was going to make that same point, Harrison. Like, if you don't know how to attack this site, like, you got to play against it to know how to attack it, or to kind of get a feel for how you want to attack this bomb site. And I almost like this pick by Six Karma. It's a risky one, right? It's a bomb site that you don't play a lot. They haven't showed it so far, but Akibio bringing down Bino, that's a great start for them. Wichita Wolves, with a lack of an IGL, this is concerning, but they're into the bomb site now. They've got to deal with these players, get these refrags. They're able to do so at 3v3, but Pixie will bring down Riot, so a 2v2 ensues. Jack and I believe Fish just dancing around each other. There's the sledge outside of the bathroom window. Jack's still trying to deal with these players. The information should be there for Six Karma that these two players are near the bomb site. Fish able to just go take the gunfight, but no diffuser in hand for Wichita Wolves. So Six Karma should just sit here, wait it out, wait for these players to come because they have the advantage.
That first kill on Abino really shutting down the Nomad and ensuring the rotatability of these defenders opened up a lot of options for Six Karma. As Wichita Wolves blitzed into the site, they were able to kill everyone else kind of around that rush, and most importantly, Riot, who had the case in hand and died, it looks like upstairs in study, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's exactly
like right
where the case is.
door.
He was able to open the wall, but quickly died after, and the defense still has these vertical angles. Twizzler almost succumbs to Pixie upstairs. He's now painfully aware of where that castle was shooting him from, and he'll stare at this ceiling. Where is Fish? I think just droned up those main stairs. Drone immediately shot out by Pixie, who's trying to come down and put the pressure on this Ash, but Fish is fearless, maybe looking to bait Twizzler and get that refrag. In comes the sledge, dies to Pixie, but there's the support from Six Karma. Skimzy ensures that Pixie goes not 1 for 1, but gets his kill for free, and that rush might have worked if only those last 2 attackers had case in hand. Six Karma able to win their own map pick, 7-4.
If that diffuser went right where it should have with the rush, then it could have been a win. But again, this map I feel like was a history of mistakes. Six Karma just making a few less and able to pounce on more of Wichita's mistakes, especially the failure by Wichita Wolves to get those attacks really solidified. Their executes just did not work out, were not as solid, and their defenses as well, not amazing. But Six Karma, their attacks also, again, weren't incredible, but coming to Clubhouse now, a map that I think both of these teams are a little bit more familiar with, maybe more comfortable with, this might be a more evenly spread match than what we saw here.
Yeah, and the like, had they won those defenses that were oh so close, this match would probably be an OT at the very least. Like, maybe Wichita would have even won it because, like I said, it should. If they had just killed the people they were supposed to kill, like, they had perfect opportunities to. And that's not to say like Six Karma, like, aren't good at shooting. It's just the positioning that Wichita Wolves had. They should not have lost those gunfights, like, no matter what. There's no excuse for that. They just missed their shots. They dropped the ball. It should have been a 4-2 half. They would be up 6-5 right now had they just locked out those defenses. But it was not to be. Six Karma proving that no matter what happens, they still have a chance to win the round just off of their superior gun skill. And that really showed that, you know, it's not just Akabil, it's not just Skimzy. Jack, Morph, and Pixie are right there with them. So thank you for watching map number 1. We've got map number 2, Clubhouse, just after this break.
Cards on a double though, and he finds a third through the smoke. It's just an ult. Getting it to 3K with an ult.
With 3 seconds left, Simon lands the pre-fire. Nobody can kill him in time.
He clutches it out! What a play from the alibi as the lobby player goes unchecked.
Welcome back. If you missed map number 1, Six Karma decided to take us to Villa, and even though it looked like Wichita Wolves probably should have came out with more defenses than they did, Well, the fact of the matter is that they didn't, and 6 Karma simply destroyed them in the second half, giving them the win 7-4.
The clutch factor, clutch potential, and most importantly, 6 Karma were just winning their gunfights. And oftentimes, more than not, they were winning gunfights they shouldn't have won based off of their positioning. Wichita Wolves had superior positioning from most of that match. I mean, in reality, they were in the better places to win rounds, but 6 Karma just made it happen. They got through those gutty, gory moments, and they proved to be very successful throughout the map. Although they struggled a little bit on their defenses, they finished it off by pulling out Living Room Library on Villa.
Yeah, that was a successful gamble, I guess. The rush worked, but for some reason they decided to go with a top floor take at the same time, which, okay, the top floor take itself is not the issue. The issue is that they sent the guy with Case on the top floor take instead of with the rush. Like, that part doesn't make sense to me. But either way, all of Wichita Wolves, except for Riot, finishing with 8 kills. So, you know, at least it was a team effort. But on the other half, you know, 14-5 for Pixie. I mean, that guy was just running amok on Lion Smoke on those supportive operators. Well, I guess Lion not so much, but Smoke on the supportive operator. Everyone else in the on his team, you know, still having their own impact. And I will say something I was a little disappointed by was Bry, because Bry had 8 kills by like round 6, like 5 or 6.
Doing well,
and then he got like, well, not 8 kills, but he was up there like on round like 5 or 6, and then he got like 1 or 2 the entire rest of the attacking half. So what I thought was going to be, you know, Akaville versus Bry ended up just being Pixie versus the entire rest of the team and just killing everything. So that's it for Villa. Luckily, though, for Wichita Wolves fans, that was 6 Karma's map pick. Now we go on to Clubhouse. This is where the Wolves wanted to bring us, but we both had some concerns about the lack of JJ and the fact that definitely looked like there were some coordination issues on Villa, and those are going to punish you even more on Clubhouse.
It's a map where it's all about executes. It's all about getting into the bomb site. The roam clear, it's one of the easier parts because there's not a lot of big roam you can really do. Other than basement, you can have that very large roam clear, but it's not difficult to really get rid of those defenders. You just use extra utility. You bring double hard breach for sure. Other than that, though, as for bedroom, as for CCTV, bar stock, those sites are all about executes. And if you can't do that, especially with what we saw Wichita Wolves struggle with so much on Villa, I'm concerned, especially because I believe that 6 Karma are going to be starting here on the defensive half. That means you're going to be in a pretty big pitfall starting off this map.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the Wolves are able to pull out. Hopefully their defaults still look good. 6 Karma with the first ban, opting for Osa. Interestingly enough, and I mean, she is a powerful operator on this map, don't get me wrong, but typically we don't see her banned here. Hibana to follow up, got to take out one of those hard breachers, and Hibana tends to be the best one on this map. So that definitely makes sense, but it does leave Thatcher up, it does leave Flores up, who's certainly a powerful operator on Clubhouse as well. The defense, we can also get more varied, but it'll be the Azami, I think, just like we saw last map from the Wolves, and remains to be seen what 6 Karma want to go for. They'll go for Cade, despite Thatcher still being up.
Yeah, maybe just so that they don't have to worry about the Thatcher being up, or maybe it's for their defensive half. They want to be able to run the Valkyrie and abuse her. They also want to run Mira and abuse her. That could be the plan here from 6 Karma. The Azami going off the board, not a big shocker. It seems to be a more popular ban nowadays, is the reconstruction of a map just becomes so much more impactful with the Azami. But here's 6 Karma showing that Mira, so clearly wanting to take advantage of that defensive operator. And that's what happens when you're a team like Wichita Wolves, not a big fan of the Azami. These new operators starting to make more and more of an impact in the map pool, or the operator ban pool rather. Now you're going to see more Mira and Valkyrie playing. We've definitely seen a plethora of that with the beginning of the season.
Solus coming out immediately from 6 Karma as well. Not only do we have Solus, we have Mozzie, Mute Combo, and Amira. So a lot of layers for the Wolves to try and go through. You have 2, or really 3, drone denial operators. And then, Mira you have to deal with on site. And then a Malusi to boot. I like their comp, though. Bringing the Buck with hard breach gadgets, so you essentially have like a triple hard breach. What you do lack a little bit of is our flashbangs, but with this lineup, of course, you don't need burn. There's no Jaeger, Wamai, or Aruni to stop you from getting your utility down. And the IQ gonna help you hunt down electronics and maybe even help you hunt down the Solus herself.
They'll have to clear out the top floor, but already the impact of Morphed bringing out that Mozzie, those pests, it's going to be difficult to get around and navigate. Skimzy as well being up here on the top floor. I mean, this is all about denying the drones, being annoying, and wasting as much time of Wichita Wolves on the attack. Six Karma have a perfect strategy in play, I think, especially against a team like Wichita, who need that extra info on the execute. They lacked it all of Villa, and now going through on the Clubhouse, if they lack that same amount of info, then that could be the case too.
That's a... Oh my god!
Oh, it hit!
That was a nuke! Morphed has...
Oh my
bro, Morphed has to have practiced that arc. That is incredible.
The
Gets the lead-off
trigonometry.
kill. Gets the only set of nades on the attack as well. And we've eclipsed like half the round now. And these roamers have gone back for free.
And they haven't gotten garage control hardly. I mean, they're barely starting to worry about getting garage control. But more importantly, I mean, like you said, the nades off the board. Plenty of drones have been shot out. There's still a few. There's still plenty in pocket. There's 4 exactly to be said that remain of the alive attackers. Bry has 2 somewhere around the map. Who knows where they might be? I believe one was in pocket and died, unfortunately, with him. The other one somewhere. So there's potential for some of that extra cutoff info, but Six Karma aren't going to play for that flank. They're just going to force Wichita to execute something they struggled on so much on Villa. They're just going to sit there, wait it out, and see what happens. Now, Riot does have the smoke grenades, so at least they'll be able to leverage those and potentially help them out. There's no Warden being brought out by Six Karma, so those are the things to look out for, that smoke execute. But there's still a C4 on the board. There's still plenty of impacts, and you also have Skimzy who's going to be able to call it exactly where that plant goes down.
That's a very good bait and switch there from the attack as well. Able to open up back Arsenal while hard breaching, bait out the impact from Jack, and get the pick. So it's a big time commitment, but at the very least, you got the equalizer. Now you have to worry about opening up this site with 20 seconds left. Bino, a very important kill on the Skimzy to give his team that man advantage, but close with the shotgun. Pixie should be able to deny that case carrier. No, he's not the case carrier. It's Riot who's dropped that kitchen hatch. Fish and Twizzler with kills each leaves Pixie in a 1 versus 3, and the Wolves have the perfect control they need to go for this plant, but Pixie kills a whiffing Twizzler. Luckily, Fish has that refrag, and the Wolves do not let round 1 slip by them.
Great attack by Wichita Wolves. I thought that they were going to struggle on their executes, but Six Karma, they let Wichita just kind of walk all over them there in the end half of that round. Really, they were able to get that hatch open, and once the kitchen hatch was open, Six Karma had no answer. They did a beautiful job on this roam, just wasting so much time. I think they could have potentially been more aggressive, although their plan was to force Wichita to execute. They actually let them execute a little bit too easily, and with those smoke grenades really being in play, that was the biggest ultimatum and kind of one of those deciders as to why they were able to get down the hatch with ease.
And Bino able to get that kill on I don't know if it was an unsuspecting defender, because Bino was damaged, so maybe Six Karma did take that fight, but either way, Bino getting that kill was huge. Fish's dirt walk in too really opened up that site and allowed for the kitchen drop down, and Wichita Wolves actually acting really well off the smokes, which is not something we see from attacks all too often. And Six Karma don't want to go downstairs again. Despite the success of their roam, they'll opt for Jim instead, bringing that castle to help cut off lines of sight. Solus now in play once again. Instead of Skimzy, Morphed will be on that operator. And the Mira, maybe also a consistent part of the Six Karma defense, despite not a lot of teams bringing her, even when she's left up, really on most maps nowadays. There are some teams, though, who still lean into her, you know, also kind of signaled by the fact that Six Karma ended up banning Cade last. They had the choice to ban Mira, but left her up, and now, you know, we're seeing exactly why.
Mira's a pivotal part on Clubhouse. I think that sometimes if you can use her right and abuse her right, she's very strong. Also, the gym hatch being reinforced. That's not something you see every day. And half a jacuzzi wall is open. Akibio might be able to take advantage of that, get a frag, but no, won't do so. It seems like Wichita, though, they're aware of some of this setup, and they're going to try to go deal with it head on. They're going to go downstairs and try to get these nades from below. Fish, though, to fall. Skimzy grabbing that frag, and Barai here has to try to get these nades from below. He's got to get at least one, try to avenge his teammate, get that refrag, even out the advantage so that they have a better chance when it comes to their execute.
Yeah, not a great first kill to lose, and not a great second one either. Skimzy finds a second through the con hatch. Well, through the con wall and the con hatch, so nasty angle he's using to get those 2 kills, in Wichita Wolves find themselves down their IQ and down a set of nades. That puts even more pressure on Twizzler, who is now also dead, thanks to Jack. This open wall intimidating for the Thermite, and he just peeks the Mira for whatever reason, and obviously dies to Akabil, and wow, Skimzy actually won that fight.
So confident. 6 Karma on this bedroom defense, and rightfully so. Wichita Wolves, they had no idea what to do. I mean, really, Harrison, they were lost in the sauce. They were so lost in the 6 Karma defense that was set up. They went and just stood face first into a mirror. They weren't aware of the hatch angle that was being held by the Jaeger. They were solo pushing. Things just did not line up well at all for Wichita Wolves. And 6 Karma, a very easy defense. And I don't expect many more defenses to come to them of that nature. But that one was pretty easy.
We go back to Church with a similar but not the same lineup. Switching one info denial op for another, in the mute to the Vigil and Akabil, rather than Mira deciding Smoke is the play instead. And I have to agree with the angles that Wichita Wolves were opening up and were pushing from. The Mira was rather ineffectual. Smoke, much better decision here. You can really use him on any part of that downstairs basement. So we'll see how 6 Karma decide to play it. 2 people in... Okay, no, they were just drone hunting. Never mind. So it looks like Morphed is going to be in the garage rafters again. Probably joined upstairs by Pixie. Here comes the Vigil. Wichita Wolves have got to figure out how the hell they're going to clear this roam without, like, the defenders defaulting back themselves. Because the only reason why the defenders defaulted back is because they had a kill and wasted half the round. And, like, sure, the Wolves had a great execute, but you don't want it to be coming down to 20 seconds every single round.
Yeah, most definitely. Wichita, they've got to deal with this roam clear. They got to do a pretty efficient job of it, but they know at least where the Solus is. It'll be free off of where the IQ is coming from in play, and Skimzy might get aggressive. These 6 Karma defenders might have to get aggressive, especially now that Morphed more than likely is going to be playing his own life inside of Garage. He's going to have to sit here, be aggressive, try to get these frags, but I don't know if that's going to happen. And Bino just through the wall. Just decimates Morphed. I mean, what the hell?
I mean, it was the perfect crouched level headshot pre-fire. And there we go. This is what we needed to see from the Wolves. He can see them defaulting back. Thanks to the Solus activating her ability. And maybe the Vigil, actually. I don't know which one that was, but they fell back together, so it doesn't really matter. Either way, they were able to see that the defenders default back, and this is what we needed to see from the Wolves. Not the defenders falling back because they wanted to and figured they wasted enough time, but being forced to by that opening kill from Bino. Very important one there from the ace. Now the Wolves can firmly take control of these top 2 floors, go to work in a 5 versus 4. They've still got the buck up. They can go ahead and exude their presence up on that kitchen floor, and hopefully deny that impact trick to get the breaches open quicker as well.
Not a ton of drone info gone. There's still plenty across.
This guy is in kitchen.
Akibio is inside a kitchen. No way. He just gets away
Who's
too?
peeking?
Oh! I mean, and he can't even kill them on the main stairs fallback. I mean, these are mistakes just right through the fingers of Twizzler. And that should be 1, if not 2 freebies for Twizzler. He should at least came out of that fight with 1, having that 5v3 advantage. And if he caught the smoke of all ops, I mean, that would have been huge. Because now there's 45 seconds left. Perfect amount of time for Akibio to be able to use those gas grenades and deny this execute.
Ooh, Bino was trying to bait out the impact trick, but he at too slim of an angle couldn't quite catch the Malusia. She was running back and forth, but now Wichita Wolves going to do their due diligence with 1 ace charge left. The impact goes up, but it was unsuccessful. I'll be able to breach open that kitchen hatch. Wichita Wolves have plenty of control, but they don't have plenty of time. 20 seconds remaining. They'll have to figure out where they want to put their chess pieces. Smoke coming down, cutting off the church double door to try and allow a drop in from Riot. He's just going to go for it. In comes Twizzler as well. Bry gets a frag into the site to get the opening they need, and Twizzler catches one looking the other way. Akabil traded out by Fish. Bino has got a TK, but it doesn't matter. Fish cleans up the last two. The perfect time coming from Blue. If not the Smoke, maybe able to get away with 2 frags there, but the Wolves keeping their trade game up.
So Akabil tried to go sit there and hide inside of dirt. Tried to bust down the barricade. He got the down. He got away with it. But for any operator to be doing that, it was the Smoke. He had 3 gas grenades in pocket. I don't think that was the play. I think that Six Karma could have easily defended that site and that take had they had the gas grenades, force Wichita into an uncomfortable plant spot, and more than likely could have actually taken away that 3v5 advantage, especially with how low the time was. Instead, misplays here by Six Karma allow for Wichita to get the drop onto the hatch and just frag out.
Yeah, the amount of, like, the pure amount of coverage these guys have on their teammates so far in those 2 church attacks was like impeccable. Plus Fish's timing. Both rounds, like one Fish coming from dirt, and then they know they're going to adjust, so Fish comes from blue, like perfectly timed. Even though it was a 20-second execute, you know, even though it maybe should have come sooner, I still got to give it to him. It was really well orchestrated. Cash is the next site for Six Karma. Since they can't go back to Gym, they have lost Church twice. They want to go back to it. They've got a Bandit to trick that main wall. They've got a Dock to hold down Rafters. And this, I think, is going to be a real test of WW's IGLing capacity without JJ. Are they going to be able to efficiently deny this Bandit trick?
This Bandit trick is going to be the main point.
Oh my god, the
of
double
this
claymore.
execute. Hey, stop him from jumping out. I mean, there's no Solus being brought out. There's no, like, mute being brought out. I think that's something that is, like, fun to do, is bring a mute.
And
then
just
you can go
jam
and
the claymore.
Jam the claymores. Yeah. That's the way to do it. But that's not happening. Fish will be here trying to deny this Bandit trick. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Ooh, nearly. There's no light. But they've got to have an answer for this Bandit trick. It's going to have to be a grenade from below, or at least Bryce sending those ash charges.
Uh-oh. Oh, he's back on the roof.
This wall
Okay.
getting open, though, I'm concerned.
Just
That's
trying
one
to-
nade gone already.
Yeah, they're nading out behind green box. They're not really dealing with the Bandit just yet. You can hear Riot. He's thinking about it, but
It's just
they
waiting.
haven't even dealt with the initial shock charges. Gee, Riot, I feel so bad
And
for
he's
Riot
used
because
both drones.
all Riot can even do is just wait. Like, he's got nothing to do until the rest of his team clears the Bandit. Riot sees that there's someone top red, but luckily he's got that angle. He can destroy those Bandit batteries, and with the hole open, there's nothing that the Bandit
Twizzler
can
downed
do.
himself?
There we go. Twizzler, though, I think you're right. Maybe downed himself, but Fish is there to kill Jack and get the opening frag.
Well, the opening frag is there, but Twizzler's traded himself out. At least for now. More than likely will get revived by one of their teammates. Fish here on this long flank coming through the bedroom could be huge for Wichita Wolves if he's able to sneak behind enemy lines, but there may be a trap set up for them. One of those Melusi Banshees that'll be set up by Pixie. More than likely going to alert the positioning here. Also, Skimzy, well aware of the IQ's positioning, but he's not aware of how close the IQ actually is, and it should be a freebie for Fish. He's able to get it, a jump scare for Skimzy, as more than likely probably needs to change the pants after that one. Pixie and the rest of Six Karma now will be forced to get aggressive, and Akibio is going to start it off. Pixie here with an aggressive swing onto the breach, shutting down that diffuser and potential planter. Bry will get a frag of his own. Bino able to trade out on the Morphed, and Pixie, last alive, close on this breach, has to find 3 more bodies, and on just 30 HP. 30 seconds left, plenty of time for Wichita Wolves to come out of this round on top.
If he peeked breach, he could have had a freebie on Twizzler, but he didn't have any info. Now he's holding this pixel into garage. Bino looking to be the first player to take the fight. Doesn't want to peek it just yet, waiting for Twizzler to join him. In comes the sledge to open the wall, and he dies instantly. Now a 1 versus 2, 10 seconds left, but Bino lands the shot. WW with round number 4. And I have to say, primarily off the back of Fish's really good play by Bedroom.
Yeah, that bedroom play, just timing for Fish. Fish timing, unbeatable currently in this game for Six Karma. Poor Skimzy had that jump scare. Definitely didn't expect the IQ just right in his face. And he almost won that fight. So credits to Six Karma for trying to stick it out. They got aggressive when they needed to, made some of the plays, evened it out, but the trades coming through from Wichita and their attacks look so much better here on Clubhouse. And this being their map pick, I'm not surprised to see them look stronger, but they look way better, 10 times better than they did on Villa.
Yeah, Clubhouse seems to really be their domain even without JJ. The Bandit clear was a little bit slow, a tiny bit slow, but it still got the job done. The Ash Charge was well placed, and there was nothing the Bandit could do, right? Fish had that opening pick on the Jack, the follow-up by the Master Lurk, and Wichita Wolves also must have had, we didn't see it, but they must have had a really good garage clear too. So they've been solid on their attack so far. The gym attack, you know, they just kind of got run over, and that's where Six Karma are defending again, so this might be their best chance to win their second point, but I don't think Wichita Wolves are going to let them run all over them again. They should at least be expecting that heavy aggression now, and they should be aware of those cheeky angles that Six Karma are killing them from too.
Yeah, as long as they're not puzzled from the defense being played out, it's literally a carbon copy of what was just a few rounds ago from Six Karma, so more than likely, you're going to see Wichita Wolves have a better plan of action here. They should understand that bedroom is the bomb site. They're very well aware by now, especially with Fish being able to see through walls with any electronics, and those bombs being very electronic. You're able to notice any of that. So this wall will get opened up by Riot, allowing for a little bit easier time through CCTV, and a better plan of action here for Wichita Wolves, trying to get lots of these angles open and make it much more tough for Skimsy to keep the CC window.
Main breach open. Con about to be opened. There it is. Now opened by Fish. Will continue to exude Metal Balk presence. Almost gets the drop on Pixie, but will force the castle back. That's an interesting height for I think that's... Can you jump that? I don't know if you can jump that. Also, Morph just...
Vaulter, bro.
Morph just peaked Fish on Metal Balk from, I think, like a garage punch hole. So,
more than likely.
A bit unfortunate for Fish, but he's dead now. 5 versus 4. That was actually a great opening pick considering that's the guy on Metal Balk. Now you don't really have to worry about that pressure until WW either like takes someone out from another position to replace him, or you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the round.
You want to hear a crazy thought? What if, like, Wichita Wolves used Thatcher so that they could open this mirror? That would have been a good idea. They could have denied it. They could have gotten a nade. I mean, Akibio able to get through. So, but he's so aggressive here. He's so tight on this door. And Bino doesn't have any drones to find out, actually, about this positioning from the mirror. And it's not going to be expected. He'll shoot the player on Jim. Akibio, though, just hanging out here, being as passive as possible. Knows he has not been alerted in the trigger positioning. Or trigger...
Discipline.
Discipline. That's the word. Discipline. From Akibio. I just, like, total brain fart. And
oh my god, down for what? Wichita.
Jack with the shotgun fighting two. Trying to fight a 3. He does! Jack! Stop it!
Nah, how did they just let him do that? Oh! Why did they send 2 up main?
It just...
Like, they had a 4v3, really, after Riot got his kill, I think from either from Logi Hatch or from the Con single. Either way, he killed someone trying to rotate back to site. And then Pixie kills him. Pixie kills Twizzler, I'm pretty sure, who I don't really think needed to be over there. Like, if you just you can send one main, have one like drop Logi or at least watch Logi, and send a couple guys breach. Like, that guy in gym was almost dead. And you can trade out Akabeel in that position. Like, the Vector, low ammo count, like low HP on the Mira. There's really nowhere he's going to be able to go. That might have just been off of lack of info, if I'm honest. Wichita Wolves maybe just not enough there. Really getting beaten out by the Mute Solus combo. But they're still in the lead. Fear not. They're up 3-2. So they still got another round.
Bedroom twice. Sure, that doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but... You know, for winning 3 attacks on Clubhouse, it's pretty solid. You've already put yourself in a good position, and they've been successful in CCTV once. definitely have the chance to do so again, and that was based off of the fact that Fish was able to just crouch walk behind the entire enemy team, get a frag, and kind of disrupt what Six Karma was doing. They were very comfortable on the bomb site, not able to do so. But Wichita Wolves, we'll have to see if they can get this main wall again. It seems like it was something they kind of struggled with last time. It took them quite a while to do so. They're going to have to be able to do so again, and I doubt that Six Karma are going to let it happen as easy as they did before.
Yeah, they actually have it now. Oh my god, did you see how much Barb was on red stairs? Are there
Wait,
there's like 4 of them.
You're gonna hear every single bit as Pixie walks up.
Can we get like an overhead of the red stairs barbed wire after this fight happens?
Oh, here you go. There's like 2
there's
pieces.
2. Never mind. They were placed down,
2.
so I thought they were going like all the way up the stairs. My bad. But good first kill from Bry. He kills the only guy holding downstairs and the only guy stopping them from denying the bandit trick. There's the Ash charge. There's the thermite. Bandit trick subverted. Excellent work from WW. Oh no!
It's weird that they're not bandit tricked. Jack, you're
I
not
thought
gonna
he was
do
gonna
this.
sprint out.
Okay, I thought he was just gonna balls to the wall, sprint out.
What? Morph just
Probably the smarter play to not do so, but look at how aggressive Six Karma are. Like, they're literally just taking the fight to them, playing on the wall. I like it, though, because it throws off some of Wichita's pacing, and now that you've lost right, you don't have an extra option of where to go. You don't have that extra exothermic charge to go anywhere else on the map. You do have Bino, though, who does have some of those Selmas, so that'll make it easier, but the potential of a con take more than likely not in play here for Wichita.
But they killed Morphed and Rafters anyway, though, so they have Rafters. Essentially, they just need they just need to walk someone in, and that's going to be Bino. Fish able to get 2. Where did Fish come from? Did he come from Master side again? That leaves Akabil in a 1 versus 4. Lands the headshot through the wall on a Twizzler, but now sight control is fully in the hands of the attack. They're going to start to get aggressive. They are pressuring this bandit. Get killed through the floor to make it a 1 versus 2. Diffuser recovered by Bino. Oh, they know Akabil's stuck by Garage. Fish watching the angle. And he'll collapse on that last player. It got really dicey. Akabil looking like he had the makings of a clutch, but unfortunately only came away with 2. Fish with 3 kills. And Wichita Wolves with a 4-2 half.
Yeah, if he landed the shots outside, Akabil being him, he would have been him. You would have been him in that 1v4. Definitely one of the star players for Six Karma, and can't put him in those positions and allow him to get away, and nearly got away with that. But hey, Wichita Wolves, 4 attacks on your own map pick. That's a damn good spot to be here as we go into the side switch. But now it comes to your defenses. Can you be solid? Can you be strong? And does Six Karma have anything here for Wichita on their attack? At Six Karma, their attacks on Villa weren't anything special. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just pretty default and winning out their gunfights. Wichita Wolves, it seems like their guns have heated up, especially Fish, just continuing to win out those fights. If the rest of them can do so as well, I think they'll be successful and send us to Chalet.
Now we flip. WW on their defense, rocking a Church Roam, though with no drone denial, which is kind of the antithesis of most Church Roams. A lot of them just kind of rely upon, you know, like I said, drone denial and thus time waste, maybe getting a free pick off of lack of info, but instead, they're just having that castle to cut things off. They've got a cap can, I guess, maybe for info. They've got those EDDs. Twizzlers upstairs, too, so you have the longevity of the dock. And you got Legion Mine, so... And a strip hold. Okay. I didn't see that during prep.
Yeah, they've got a lot of hold over on the
stairs.
strip club.
And then Twizzler was lounge, so he's got that secret fallback. Interesting.
Yeah. It's a different type of extension, and Six Karma being a team that doesn't play a lot of Clubhouse, we'll have to see what they do. You know, the most recent time they played Clubhouse is an 8-7 loss to Above the Law in quals, so we'll see what happens. I think he's just trying to like shoot through to get the wall open so he can actually vault it.
It was just funny because it didn't look like the wall was reacting like at all.
The wall just said nah.
Huh.
I don't wanna.
Unfortunately, though,
so it's just gonna fight it though.
A symptom of this roam being mostly in around like top main, not even top main, but like around the kitchen hall and strip and stuff, is that you do kind of leave the top floor exposed, so they can work vert, pressure your roamers, That's going to prompt Twizzler to fall back, as we just saw. He was trying to fight the vert. Drone, I think, spotted Riot. So they know the castle's here, and he'll likely come under fire soon, considering he's stuck. The hatch gets popped. Skimzy works his way in and just drops and pre-fires him. There was nowhere for Riot to go. They had the drone, knew he was still behind the bar, and that is a real easy opening kill for Skimzy.
Everyone forgets about that hatch. It's the one where you can pop it when you're on defense and jump echo drones out to get information on attackers outside. But everyone forgets about the strip club hatch, and Skimzy very well using that map knowledge and taking advantage of the wall or the hatch to get open, but more than likely a C4 or an impact to come out. No, nothing to deny this hatch getting open. Interesting by Wichita Wolves to not have some emphasis. And no more C4s on the board. I believe Fish had a pre-place through the main hall. I wonder if he's already used that. I saw Bino check his up and miss. So
yeah, that was one C4.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're both gone.
Not good.
And there's no smoke.
Good.
So that's your only form of indirect plant denial gone. And now Twizzler's dead, trying to hold on to Church Wall. 2 players drop into the Moto hatch, and they just destroy Bino. There's nothing he can do. Bry kills Skimzy walking down secret stairs, and Fish gets another one. It's a 1 versus 3. Stuck kind of towards box 2, and now they know where he is thanks to the quick peek from Pixie, who will end up peeking the hallway and dying. 1 versus 2, much more doable for Fish now, especially as he softens up Akabil. Neither of these 2 players going upstairs, at least not until the sledge finally ascends main. Does Fish have info on Jack, though, tucked behind the minibar? Fish doesn't seem to know, at least until the shots come out. Now he knows Jack is inside of Church, watching the angle. Nice headshot behind that bomb chassis, but only 10 seconds to play with. And Akabil should have an angle through the floor, through the breach. He can't quite see it, but he's just baiting it. Fish has to push out and bait for the kill, but Akabil's not taking it. He's still upstairs, and Wichita Wolves unable to clutch the round.
Karma just played better post-plant positions, and there was nothing to deny them from walking into the building, and that was the biggest issue there for Wichita Wolves. Or strip defense, rather, their roam just not being as proactive and proficient as it could have been. That player, the castle that was stuck over there, if they could have stayed alive for another 30 seconds, just been annoying, force maybe more util or more time on a drone, that could have been huge. Instead, 6 Karma were able to deal with it pretty easily, and they got the hatch open, they got that triple wall open, there was no denial, and Wichita Wolves just losing it out. I think that's a site where instead of bringing Capcan, like what Fish was doing, you could have brought potentially a mute, you could have brought a bandit to go on that triple wall, stop that wall from getting opened, and for such an easy execute for 6 Karma to be able to take over.
Brilliant try from Fish, though. Great attempt.
Oh, absolutely.
He's
that shot on that
wow,
thermite was very good.
4.
Yeah, he's shooting.
Yeah, he's having
that's what you need to do against 6 Karma. I mean, you have to shoot.
Yeah.
Because they're all shooters, and they love taking those fights. The Mexican teams, typically in their history, love being aggressive. They love taking those fights, and that's something that 6 Karma like to piggyback off of. I mean, these are 5 of the better players in the Mexican circuit, and morphed with a potential wallbang or denial of a spawn peek on Twizzler.
Where
was Twizzler?
Where did he just die at?
It's got to be like stock or something, I imagine. It was probably peeking
Was it
stock.
downstairs? Oh, no, you can see it right there on the blue tarp. You see his little symbol?
Yep. So he must have gotten wallbang then.
Yeah, I think it was just the default.
Garage rappel?
Yeah, the default garage rappel.
Yeah.
That I do every single round on Clubhouse. Like,
are you that guy?
I am that guy. I am that guy, and I get my freebies.
You're a terrible guy.
You're just a hater.
I am a hater. I hate people.
I'm
that
sure
do
Twizzler's a hater right now too.
Twizzler's not happy. That's for sure.
No, it got stuck on the ledge. It got stuck on the lip of the wall up top. Yeah, that was almost
nasty.
Almost a really good arc, but Bino missing the C4 and the follow-up Selma forces him out, but he does get the drop on Akabil and finally able to down him. Trey's going across the board, though, leaving 6 Karma in the advantage. Another guy trying to kill Primura, but he misses the pre-fire. Now it's a man advantage for Wichita Wolves as Bry got his on main stairs. Pixie's at least got Case. He's at least got A control. He's got pings on the Mira too, but Bino's better. Swings out 3 kills for the Mira, and WW take the lead again.
Incredible round by Wichita Wolves. I mean, pulling it back, 6 Karma with the mistakes there. They should have used their utility. You're Ying. You have flashes. Instead, you chose the 80-round magazine, which shoots marshmallows at you, and you lose the gunfight. I mean, you know, you could have just flashed the Mira. More than likely, Bino's not hitting that pre-fire, or he runs out of there, and you have logistics control, and you've got a better hold in that execute. Instead, 6 Karma just rushed. They rushed themselves for that execute. They had sight for a moment. They saw their glimpse. They saw their chance, but they didn't take advantage of it to the fullest extent that they probably could have. And Wichita Wolves escaping with a round, but doing a very good job of doing so.
Yeah, that was brilliant play from Bino. He was 7-4 before. Now he was 4-4 before. Now finds himself 7-4. I would like to see a little more consistency from WW though. Someone like up there with Fish. Rye's been getting his ones. But Twizzler and Riot having a bit of a slow series so far, both map 1 and map 2. Hopefully they either wake up here, or if WW end up taking this map off the back of Fish, Bino, and Bry, then we see some more contribution from them in map 3. 6 Karma, as a team, have slowed down a little bit. Akabil is having a better map here, but Wichita Wolves have been really dictating the pace in the vast majority of these rounds. Really, I would say the only rounds that 6 Karma really dictated were the 2 on Gym, where they were getting really aggressive. Otherwise, Wichita Wolves, for the most part, have been just doing what they wanted to do.
They've had pretty free reign, other than the basement attack they were able to do, which they got in and got that execute down. I'll have to do so again this time. They've got to deal with some of these pre-places. These
Bino just got hurt by that.
These Valkyrie cams. Yeah, Bino got tickled by the C4 in the hallway, so a little bit of damage. Not fun. They do go downwards. They do explode downwards a little bit. Not as much as they go boom upwards. Not a big roam, though, by Wichita Wolves. Instead, they're anchoring and going to force this execute at 6 Karma's hand again. So maybe we'll see some sort of retake play being made. But, I mean, they're all just sitting here chilling. And there's no effort to go extend their wings even a little bit. Not even like a stairs to shoot a drone or two. Nothing. They're just going to let 6 Karma have all of this ground and have a bloodbath when it comes to the last 30 seconds.
I mean, I definitely understand the decision considering how expeditious 6 Karma's roam clear was in the previous round, or previous attempt on this site, especially with that Buck really taking advantage of the vertical play to force that dock back, and from there Riot was alone and exposed. And Wichita Wolves just don't want to have to go through that pain again. Instead, they'll turtle on site. The mirror window being pinged out. Maybe a nade to come through, but they might bait the peek from Riot. Yeah, the nade is finally going to come out as the thermite peeks main stairs. The C4, though, improperly arced, will get wasted, and there's the nade follow-up. It finally kills Riot despite the indicator. I don't think being on his screen, but nevertheless, really important first frag for 6 Karma. They don't deal with the mirror window, but they do take out one of the players playing behind it. Now the Jaeger has to reposition to take up that mantle, and one of the C4s is gone.
They've dealt with the bandit, which means they can get that wall open if they want. They can get rid of that mirror. You still have Pixie, who's got one of those EMP impacts, but maybe they won't even worry about it. Morph's able to bring down Bino now. The mirror gone and off the board. Bry still has a C4 in pocket, so things very doable here, but Fish has already exhausted his resources. A kitchen hatch execute this time for 6 Karma. They'll have to avert Fish, who's currently playing an AK. It's a flashbang to come through. He'll get full whited, and more than likely the drop here. Good coverage from 6 Karma as you have Skimzy prone on the hatch, but now it comes for Wichita Wolves to bite back. Akibio with coverage of the main stairs brings down one. Fish will get a trade on a Jack, and Bry left alone in a 1v4, or 1v3 rather, as Morph cleans up, and Wichita Wolves losing out on another Beastman defense.
And there was nothing to stop the attack from executing kitchen hatch.
Nope.
We talked about there being kind of few rounds where Six Karma were really dictating the pace, but that was definitely one of them once it came down to that execute. The opening kill onto the Bandit, forcing the Jaeger away. There was really no usage of the mirror window because all of Six Karma were either kitchen hatch, coming down dirt, or that IQ pressuring blue, taking Bry away from the main fight. The kill through the hatch onto Bino, also really influential, denying really the only C4 that was in a position to stop the plant. Bry was kind of stuck in blue, and with the angle, again, from the hatch, he really couldn't push up and get the C4 down, so it was a freebie plant, and even though Fish got one guy in dirt, there was a follow-up, and Six Karma just had all the necessary post-plant positions to stop any semblance of a retake, and WW, unable to win a single church round, might come back to bite them if they don't win cash. They can go back to gym and feel pretty confident there, I feel, but if they don't win here, they don't have another, like, bastion.
Confident sight. Yeah, exactly.
And they need 2
And you
rounds
could
to
see
win.
a bar pull out. I mean, we saw Six Karma pull out Living Library on Villa. Maybe we saw Wolves get a little uncomfortable and go to bar. It's become a more viable site. Like, bar. It's become a site that teams have enjoyed more so, and you actually see it like pretty commonly. There's kind of this 50-50 decision on whether or not CCTV is better or whether or not bar is better, but some teams will go ahead and do that. Riot, though, with the opening pick on a
What? On the door?
and sitting here on the dock in rafters, trying to stay alive for as long as possible, and will more than likely be able to do so considering those are the nades gone. You can't clear that rafters player as easily now.
However, they do clear the Bandit trick with a Flores
well
drone.
played.
Really like the use of utility there. All it costs is 1 drone. I mean, that's pretty much nothing. Kind of confused as to how Akabil died, like peeking the garage door. That's kind of a what are you doing moment. But, I mean, not a terrible loss considering you still have the Roteros, but if you wanted to nade anyone from below, that option is no longer available to you. The top red shield being cleared by the Roteros. Skimzy is on point with his utility so far, but minute 50 now remaining. Still have to take the dock out of rafters because with 2 people holding here, Twizzler and Fish, I don't think Six Karma are going to be able to take Con efficiently. I don't think they're going to want to risk the bodies there. So Garage is likely going to be the play. They're opening... Wait, yeah, they're opening the seal. They're just going to walk in. Pixie's just in. Morph gets the kill onto Riot. They've got B control. Bino's got a C4. He'll rotate down beneath. Bry with an impact forces Jack off the default plant spot, and Fish kills Pixie, trying to kill the players in Con. Bino now with, I think, a pre-placed C4 is waiting for the call. Bry spots the player on that diffuser. Jack, not comfortable with finishing it, gets up and gets killed by Bino. And even though there was a really nice blitz into sight, the plant denial from WW really wins them this round unless Morphed can complete the 1v4.
It came down to the Solus play. That's all it was. Bry sat down there and waited for the plant to go happen, and he was able to just call it for his team. Now, Wichita Wolves, all they need to do is play back, play their positions, force Morphed into the bomb site, and take an unfavorable 3v1 crossfire. It's exactly what's going to happen. He's already having to fight 2 bodies. He's have to fight a 3rd from Khan as well. He's aware of all the positionings, but it comes to winning the fight. So win one on to
Oh my
Fish.
God!
He fights a 4th onto Twizzler. Couldn't clutch it. No, Bry. To save it from the round when it came to the plant. Also able to save that near 1v4 ace clutch from Morphed.
Wow. As soon as he hit that shot on the Omai, I thought he might have won that because he knew where the Solus was.
Wow. That was...
He almost had an incredible spray
so
transfer.
close.
So incredibly close from Morph, but Rye at the end of the day winning it out in that round, even though it got down to the wire, still won off of that plant denial downstairs. Like playing off the Solus perfectly, having Bino duo with him for that C4, the impact under default, forcing the Thermite up, and there's really nowhere for the Thermite to go. Once that C4 goes down and once he lifts off that plant, he either has to peek red or peek the cash door. Like, he's going to die to one of those angles most likely, and it just happened he chose red and lost the fight to Bino. So really well played off the Solus utility, and a good con hold, right? If that con hold isn't there, Pixie kind of runs amok in sight. The Fish made sure to put a stop to that, and we go back to Jim. This is a great opportunity for Wichita Wolves to bring us to map 3.
Most definitely. It just comes down to 6 Karma and seeing what they bring out. They need to do something new, something different. I've been seeing a lot of stock standard default takes coming from them. And I haven't seen anything special. Listen, this is do or die. There's no hiding anything here, Six Karma. You gotta make it to playoffs first, and the best way for them to do that is to win their opponent's map pick here. Otherwise, they get forced on a chalet, and Wichita Wolves have seemingly recovered from their blunderous Villa map. Now on Clubhouse look way better and look like they're in the driver's seat for a majority of these rounds.
I like the Twitch pick. Knowing that WW are rocking the Mira really consistently. I wonder, do you think there's an angle through the floor underneath that you could shoot the Mira with a Twitch?
I think there's an angle you can get with your gun, but you've got to make sure that you get it. No way Skimsy just drives it. No way.
Did he get it?
I think he got it. No way. The elusiveness.
Oh, he did. That sucks for Bino.
That is... Oh,
especially with the wall about to be thermited. Yeah, Bino's forced out of bathroom. That's a big piece of real estate that WW just lost thanks to a Twitch drone.
Wow. I mean, the driving by Skimsy to be able to get that is incredible because he just was elusive. And so what? You use that Twitch drone, you got a camera, and you got the mirror, and that's the biggest thing. And he loses the second one, so you're gonna have to go deal with the logistics mirror more than likely the real way, the normal way, where you could just send Akibeel to kitchen window and nade it from below, and more than likely you can just shoot it out. That is definitely a possibility. There's no one from Wichita down there to contest any of that.
Oh,
Pixie
nice angle.
gets a wall bang through the wall. Maybe it was cracked open.
Yeah, there was a slit.
But Riot just caught between a rock and a hard place, and now this bathroom wall gets opened up. A lot of control established.
What?
More able to pick Bino, who just wildly peeks. Maybe didn't understand that the mirror was already open, but he was the mirror player himself.
Yeah, he had to have known.
Losing that out. Another peek coming out from Fish this time around. This peak game coming from Wichita Wolves just not working out well for them as now the diffuser begins to get planted.
Fry, the last one left, and now a 1 versus 5. He kills Morph, turns around, gets the player on the window, but there's 2 Logi to try and trade him, and 6 Karma with a really well-orchestrated attack, working off the mirror window on Breach perfectly. Didn't even attempt a con push because they knew about the Logi Mira. Dealt with that server peak by having Pixie stationed like a sentry turret, watching the slit in the wall with a DMR. Riot was not going to win that fight, and they simply rush on through the breach. As soon as they kill Bino, that was the opening they were looking for, because Bino was the only guy and Master to stop that from happening. And Wichita Wolves, I say, it was a great opportunity to win it considering how good their gym hold was last time. But now they've got to try and defend Church, which they have not won at all.
So the Wolves got the they wanted to come back from that position, right? They lost that opening pick. They wanted to get a second, so they got aggressive, swung the open breach and open mirror. Then they tried to swing again to get another refrag. And when you keep swinging to get these refrags and you keep losing these long angle fights, you would think that maybe you're gonna stop peeking 6 Karma, especially because attackers typically have those longer range scopes, faring for better gunfights for them. And that's exactly what you saw. They were able to take advantage of that, get those frags, and bring things out. And now Wichita Wolves, back downstairs they go. They've been unsuccessful thus far, but they've got a chance. I still think this is a site they should be able to hold, but they're not making crazy adaptations to be able to do so. I think a smoke would go huge and do numbers for them for the late round executes. The same issues that 6 Karma had when it came to defending basement was not bringing a smoke to stop Wichita from being able to plant exactly where they want. And a Gone 6, maybe a rush?
Nah, that was just to open the cutoff on the main stairs, so...
Yep.
Early usage of the Gone 6, but not heralding a rush. I like the buck pick coming out again for 6 Karma, but instead of clearing upstairs, they're just walking right in onto Strip, but Riot's not there. Potential flank from Bry. He was really thinking about it. He's worried the attack might have info, worried they had a cutoff drone maybe in B1 watching him. He'll back off towards the main stairs. Skimsy's going to drone it, and Bry will not grab it. So he's not even able to clear the drone. Not a lot of use off that roam, I have to say.
I do think this is a smart play here from Bry, though, to bring out the Bandit, going to Bandit trick that wall. No mirror this time, so that wall's not automatically open. The best way that you're going to be able to deny that Bandit trick is to nade over that wall. And it's tricky for the attacker side. For whatever reason here on Clubhouse, that church triple wall on main stairs, it's very easy for an attacker, or a defender rather, to throw a C4 over to the main stairs. But an attacker to throw a nade, you've got to get it through this really small gap, as well as exposing yourself to the elements of so much destruction already played on through the basement that it's near impossible to stop that Bandit trick. So more than likely, that main stairs wall is going to be opened with ease. Or stay closed with ease.
Might have to guess correctly, though, because they have EMPs. And
That is true.
I think the Bandit batteries are close enough to where it can potentially get 2 of them. Yes.
Yeah,
especially on that left side.
On that left side, yeah. That's where you have to be smart as a Bandit player to disperse those batteries evenly.
They might
It's
have,
weird though.
They might have to
We
have
a
info on it though.
We have a Thatcher up Clubhouse and no Thatcher.
Yeah, I mean with no
Has been
Cade,
brought.
with no Cade, you don't necessarily have to take him. This I think is the only situation like where
Where it'd
the
be
attack,
helpful.
where the attack would have really benefited from a Thatcher, like in this specific match.
Yeah.
And Bry is kind of spacing out his batteries. He shifted them from too close on left to too close on right, and that's a really good opening pick. That's the EMPs down. Pixie's dead. Twizzler gets the opener. That is absolutely massive. Holding on to blue, and look at the time. 25 seconds remaining. This church wall is absolutely staying closed. Jack just going to try and drop in. Twizzler not watching the angle. Instead, he's still watching blue and lording over it. Bino destroys Jack from behind the bomb chassis. Looks for more, but Morph frags him. The Doc Prone takes out one. Bry finishes, and Morph is alone in a 1 versus 4 with no HP remaining. Wichita Wolves playing on the roam, falling back quickly, playing off the Bandit and their strength as an anchor team. They take map 2. They send us to map 3.
It came off that failure to open that kitchen hatch. Six Karma were forced to go for a church execute after they couldn't get that hatch open. And when it came to those struggles, Wichita Wolves just proved to be better, wasting all of that time playing the angles and most importantly, winning their fights. Very different story from Villa. However, Six Karma will still have the advantage as they were able to go 7-5 here on this map, on their opponent's map of Wichita. So I believe Six Karma should have side choice with that being the
Yes,
case here
they do.
coming on to Chalet. But Wichita Wolves looked much better than what they did on Villa and a better showcase, I think, of these two teams here in this match.
Yeah, it's a really good improvement from what we saw. You know, we were worried about some of those IGLing issues on Clubhouse. I think in a couple of the rounds, there definitely was. But all in all, relatively unfazed, really proving that, you know, Club was their map pick. And, you know, we kind of harp on them on Villa. They did still win 4 rounds. Like, it was still a relatively close game. It's unfortunate for them that Six Karma now have that round differential. They'll be able to choose the starting side on Chalet. But, Mason, and this is where I'm a little bit worried for Six Karma. Clubhouse, they lost in the Mexican finals 7-4, right? Actually, I'm worried for Wichita Wolves. They won this map in the Mexican finals against the team that would eventually beat them 7-5. So unlike Clubhouse, Six Karma do have recent success on this map. But as saved for map 3, we're going to take a quick break first, give players a rest, get sides all sorted out, so do not go anywhere. We'll be back with the decider map just after this.
Call-outs on a double, though, and he finds a third to the smoke. It's just an ult. Getting it to 3K with an ult.
With 3 seconds left, Simon lands the pre-fire. Nobody can kill him in time.
He clutches it out. What a play from the alibi as the lobby player goes unchecked.
Welcome back. On to map number 3 we go. The Wichita Wolves bounce back on Clubhouse, taking it 7-5 and looking a hell of a lot better than they did on Villa.
They looked so much better. I mean, like you said, Harrison, just before we went to the break, was sure Wichita Wolves ended Villa 7-4, but they did have some moments that just at the beginning and so many mistakes on Villa. They've cleaned those up, though. The adaptations coming through, some wise words potentially being brought to this team. Fish popping off. Just had a huge map, I believe 16 kills or somewhere in that range. And he was really one of the reasons that Wichita Wolves were so successful, especially on so many of their attacks. Fish just ended up being better. Although 6 Karma were able to start to pull back some of these rounds, morphed nearly with a 1v3 clutch. Not happening though. 6 Karma just barely falling short, and Wichita Wolves, they look a lot better going to map 3 of Chalet.
Chalet, much different beast than Clubhouse. It plays very different. It still has an emphasis on your utility usage, especially with top library clears, with top blue clears, stuff like that, but you can get a little freaky on it. As of this map, Clubhouse, the stats, Fish and Bry having much better games, 16-8, 10-7 for those two players respectively. Morphed was 14-9, doing really well for himself, but everyone else on the board was kind of struggling. Akabil was doing okay, but he's not having the Akabil performance that we expect across the whole series so far. And I think that's why it's been so close. It's like varying players that we necessarily didn't expect to pop off on 6K popping off, and WW doing what we kind of expect of them. If Akabil and Skimzy are able to get up there with Morphed, with Pixie, and dominate Chalet, they're going to win it hands down. Meanwhile, WW, Fish, and Bry just keep doing what you're doing. Riot, I think, is the guy that we're going to need to see start to step up if they want to take it to the next level and win this game.
Yeah, 6 Karma, I feel like if they just get one of those extra bodies stepping up, Akibio being kind of that main focal point. I mean, we highlighted him in the broadcast at the very beginning during our pre-show before map 1, being one of those star players currently for 6 Karma. Even Skimzy, someone who was so good in the qualifiers, those players not showing up like in big ways as we typically would see. Pixie and Morph are more so carrying the back of this team. Jack even could be one of those players to step up and really show something here for 6 Karma. If they're able to do so, I think they'll easily take Chalet against Wichita Wolves. But that said again, Fish popping off was big for Wichita Wolves, and if that continues, I'm very worried and concerned for 6 Karma's future here in SCS.
Especially with how important those opening frags are on Chalet. It's such a small map. As soon as you get one of those little openings as an attack, you have to barge on in and prevent the defense from retaking any ground. Map control is so important on Chalet. We don't really see minimal takes too often, and for a very good reason. A lot of horizontal play and vertical play on this map. It's kind of like Border, where a lot of times you'll see the team really play like the whole map on the top floor. So very excited to get into map 3. Of course, with 6 Karma having the privilege of side choice, thanks to having a 1 round better differential, they start on defense. They get the first ban, and they opt to ban Thatcher.
Someone who we didn't see all of Clubhouse, although he was left up.
Yeah.
Never saw him once. So it's weird to see him banned out. I guess just making sure that you won't see the Thatcher. I feel like you can get a pretty solid use out of him on Chalet. I mean, you can EMP from the roof and destroy ADSs, especially if you're talking about a trophy like hallway hold or that case hallway hold on bar window or on bar defense, that top blue stairs hall. You can just EMP from the window and destroy pretty much any sort of ADSs, or not destroy, but just disable those ADSs and those gadgetry. Do could be banned yet again, this time from Wichita Wolves, and it doesn't surprise me, especially with how good, I believe it was Pixie who was really running that Dokkaebi and running it into the ground. I think that Wichita struggled against it. Caden Azami to close things out, so nearly a similar, I believe map 1 was close to this, but
Map 1 was Thatcher, Mira, Dokkaebi, Azami. So the only thing different is the Mira. Instead, it's a Cade ban from 6 Karma, which definitely makes sense. If you're banning the Thatcher more for like your top blue holds and your basement holds to protect ADSs, then you don't want to leave that Cade up when you switch to your attacking half. It does, however, leave up Solus, who I would argue on one of her best maps is not currently being played. Instead, 6 Karma opting for the Ella, where you would typically see Solus played, and Master Bedroom being played first, which I think, oh, didn't we see, hasn't 6 Karma played Chalet, and they, like, kept bringing out Master, and we were like, why? Yes, it was against IF.
I think so, yeah. But they had a solid win against IF, if I remember correctly.
It was 7-4,
like
yes.
So, I mean, hey. If it works, it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. 6 Karma, clearly they're comfortable here on Master. But like you said, Harrison, I'm curious as to why Solus isn't being brought out. When we watched the OHG Luminosity game together, just earlier this week, or that was last week now.
Solus dominated.
Solus dominated, especially on this bomb site. Like, you had to clear out that middle floor if you wanted any chance of planting the bomb, because there was nowhere you could plant safely in sight.
I imagine we'll see her in later rounds. They just want to stick the Ella at least for now, see if it works out. More disc coming out to deny projectiles, but Twizzler with the opening pick onto Jack, knocking the Aruni off the board, knocking a DMR, and one of the only defenders who can confidently challenge those long angles that the attackers typically like to play with, and a really well-placed nade from Fish. Almost the follow-up shots onto Pixie downstairs, but he'll have to settle with just 1 kill, and a very important one at that, the man holding those trophy stairs. Now there's nothing to stop 6 Karma, or sorry, nothing to stop Wichita Wolves from swinging in other than Skimzy playing close here on Owl, but there's another obstacle that the attackers are going to have to deal with before they can really complete this solar cleave. But there's Riot taking out Akabil, making the situation for the defense even worse.
It's not a good start here for 6 Karma, at least on their first defense, but don't count them out just yet. You still got Skimzy on the Ella. He's got plenty of bullets to make something happen. He'll start it off there, bringing down Twizzler. Could find more, especially if he chooses to get aggressive here at the right time. The stand-up from Fish will get him down, nearly the flick on to Bino, but he'll walk on through. Pixie now left in a 1v4. Has a C4 in pocket very easily. Could go for this. No one wants to revive Fish just yet. There's the C4 to go at the door. It'll finish off Fish, do a little bit of damage to the rest of Wichita, as some of them have taken some serious health concerns here. Pixie, though, still has a chance. Walk into the angle of the Yana, so very well aware here, and more than likely to see Wichita start to get this diffuser down. Yes, they're doing just that, as I say. So Pixie will get the frag here onto Bry, so the chance to clutch it out is doable. He downs Riot with the shotgun and only has to find 1 more to complete the 1v4. We'll try to get out Bino, but again, another clutch from 6 Karma, just barely shut down and saved by Bino.
Man, Pixie has been showing up in these games so far. 3 kills to almost clutch that 1v4. It just wasn't enough. The plant going down. Bino getting out alive, really winning it for them. But Wichita Wolves, all in all, with a solar take, and a good one at that. Typically, we do not see solar takes anymore. But they made it work. They were able to get that opening pick onto Jack, take out one of the supports, I think from the, I think it was from the double window, the master double window. Fish got that really well-timed nade onto the Lamai, who was backing off from all the utility being sent in the solar windows. We got a follow-up onto Akabil, who was trying to retake by the master door. I think it was he and Skimzy kind of pushed forward in solar. And from there, Wichita Wolves just kind of bullied the rest of the defense. The Ella going 1 for 1, and then good positions for Wichita Wolves to play in after spotting out that the mute was pushing bathroom. You know, they relocated, made sure that the Hibana was going to be protected no matter what Pixie tried to do. Close 1v1, but, you know, won it out in the end. And Wichita Wolves take a successful starting attack, and that's going to prompt 6 Karma to go to bar with a Wamai and an Aruni and a castle. Plenty of utility for Wichita Wolves to try and chew through as they go for this top blue shield.
Different type of bar hold, I feel like, coming from 6 Karma. You're not seeing the Doc going and playing in that dark spot of library that some teams have started to adapt. You also don't see a Jaeger on the board. The front door, oh, Skimsy, you've got to hit those. That could have been a freebie here for 6 Karma. Instead, they'll fall short of that. And 60 seconds, not even, off the clock yet. And just more information being gathered here by Wichita Wolves. How do they want to dissect this defense, and how do they want to go for this attack? Where are they going to enter through? And it appears that their plan of action is the library.
Skimsy was isolated and on a drone. Doesn't seem like the attackers are too worried about him, though. First nade gets sent in to destroy the bulletproof on one of the islands in library. So a little bit of info, no longer going to be assisting Morph as he shoots the attacker's drone. Jack not in a position really to assist the Wamai. He's more just worried about the hallway, as he should be, sitting on that blue shield. Flores drone comes out, forces Morph back for a sec, but does not force him to default back onto the bomb site. He is still on top library. A lot of time from Wichita Wolves and Utility committed to clearing this position, but not a whole lot of progress to show for it.
Morph is still just hanging out here. Now he's going to use those impacts to trick off the X-Karos post. Spread onto the wall. Now Bino is switched to the 4 pellet, I believe, and now actually the 2 pellet to be a little bit more annoying. Jack could have potentially been there to shoot off more of those pellets, but now it's the fallback here from 6 Karma. They'll go back down into the bomb site. Pixie, though, does bring down Bry, who jumped inside of library, or maybe in the small window, more than likely, is where Bry was hopping in. Riot evening it out on a Kibo, so things looking good here for Wichita Wolves as they've gotten this top floor control and now just need to translate into that site execute.
Gotta make sure the vert goes well, but there's nobody playing in bar. 2 in stock, Jack hovering on the bottom of blue, and Skimsy all the way down in the basement, who might come up main and try to hold on to lobby for his teammates. Morph, the first defender now to take a bit of damage as he tries to back away. Now placed inside a bar, really exposed, and this might be a freebie. Fish walking in, gets one, turns around for the second, but can't land enough shots onto Pixie. Skimsy a follow-up from that main stairs come up, and Bino just tries to hop in. This forces Riot to drop the hatch, doesn't know which way to look, too many angles to cover. Shot in the back by Pixie, and 6 Karma come away with round 2.
Fish was just too impatient. He got one, but the rest of his team wasn't ready to go for this execute. If you timed it all together, it would have been amazing to watch the guy jump through the game's window, fish through the bar door, cause his pinch on the stock. Instead, Wichita Wolves, a little bit of miscoordination. They didn't get that 3-2-1 right in sync, and 6 Karma came away with that round on the defense.
And even if they didn't have the sync, there shouldn't be any reason why Bino is staring at the ground instead of trying to take the fight bar stock. They had full top floor control. Why was that frost mat not shot?
More than likely a habit of just looking down, but yeah,
I mean, maybe, but yeah, either the frost mat
yeah.
should have been shot or should have been communicated to Bino that it had been shot. And he should have been able to remember not to look down. But either way, you know, it was rough for him to win that fight anyway. Fish had a great entry into the site. If he won the fight against the Frost, we'd probably see a completely different round. But the fact that not only did the Frost get his refrag, but Skimsy came up the main stairs at the perfect time to kill the other player pushing lobby, really put the round in 6 Karma's favor. And now they go to dining, continuing the rotation of sites, playing upstairs, playing in library, exuding their presence really across the whole map, with Pixie over towards bar and Jack now in games. So 6 Karma looking to, it looks like looking to play pretty much the whole map on the top 2 floors.
Want to be aggressive, take these fights to Wichita Wolves, and I do believe that this is the way that they should continue to proceed the rest of this map. Try to make Wichita Wolves uncomfortable, get them uneven, maybe even get some of those opening picks back into the favor of 6 Karma. But Wichita Wolves, they're being careful with this, and they're just droning Fish up West Main, and he's actually in sight. He is in the bomb site, and there's no one there. They don't have a clue. There's no inkling of a match. Pixie just dies. That's the top fragger down. Jack is going to try to respond on the Fish. More than likely not going to win it out. Bry there to trade out from West Main. Another
they have someone on window?
Kibio from big window. I mean, this to execute going beautifully for Wichita Wolves. Morph will spot the head of one, but waits and hesitates to shoot the player. The drone providing plenty of information. Morph not going to be able to walk through this door as easily or as free. Would do some damage
Fish
to
is
Fish,
alive?
but still hasn't killed him. The diffuser going down from Wichita Wolves. There's no answer from 6 Karma. Skimsy able to walk on through, and Morph is going to have to find some of these kills, but it's not going to happen. Fish gets one, but dies. Is Bry now morphed In a 3v1, will find one on a fish, has an opportunity, may have spotted a player, sees the guy on the hatch. All of a sudden, it's very doable. The last player in Trophy and more seems to be somewhat aware of this positioning from the sledge. Will pull out the pistol, takes the swing, but again, another clutch from 6 Karma, shut down in another 1v1 from Wichita Wolves.
I don't know how they keep making it this close and just feeding picks to these teams.
That's at least 3, if not 4, potential like clutches. There was on Villa. There was the one on Clubhouse with Morphed.
Yeah, there was the one we just saw on Master
The one we
with
just
Pixie.
watched on Master, and this one here. So 4.
It's so close, but at the very least, you know, we could talk about that rush, which was just Fish being sent on a solo play with a drone in front of him. That was like the Vladder play, the old Vladder play that Gasher used to do. Perfectly executed. The Wamai had no idea. The Cam was more worried about the drone, probably shot the drone and immediately got off, if I'm honest. Allowing Fish in to get that opening pick, kill one of the players trying to retake. The plant went down. And from there, it was pretty much over. I mean, like, it was a lot closer than it should have been. And I think if Morph doesn't pull out the pistol and try to hit the sprint to get past the trophy window, I think maybe he wins that, because Riot was 1 bullet's worth of HP from the DMR, but was not to be.
So close.
Oh yeah, so close. Beginning the starting round positioning from Wichita Wolves was really, really good, and it shouldn't have come down that close to begin with.
Oh,
so
definitely.
Like, that rush just very
like,
well orchestrated.
It's so funny to me because I think every single time it's been those close clutches, it's been Pixie and Morphed. Every single time. It was Pixie on Villa, Morphed on Club, Pixie on Master, and Morphed there right then on that round. A Jack, an opening pick.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Being able to spawn peek Beano, kill the hard breacher early. Now, hard breaching is not necessarily the biggest deal in the world on this site, on this map in general, especially if you're going for, really except for dining. Dining's the main one, and basement. But on like the top 2 floors on bar and master, not the biggest deal in the world. But now you kind of have to go for a solar take. Especially if the office wall is like completely closed, you kind of have to go for a solar take. Well, it's half open.
Yeah, it's half open. It's on like the more inconvenient side for the attack.
Yeah, you have to have like full control of piano to be able to walk in and plant now.
Yeah. And the thing is here is Jack. What? He didn't even do damage?
Oh my
wow,
god.
Riot barely escaped. No way he shouldn't have taken damage. Malusi has been spotted out. Actually getting more aggressive. Or is it Malusi? Who is that?
Lucy?
Oh, it's Solus.
What?
And Skimsy just spraying a whiff.
All right. Well,
But
Morph
more
has the
aggression
refrag
here.
though, because Morph is just
Yeah.
that guy. And he just hops down and smokes Fish on the main door. Now they know there's another body off site, but Jack, protected by the reinforcement, taking the close angle with the DMR, almost lines up the shot onto Bry through the wall. But Twizzler continuing to drone in. Sees a couple of the players on the bomb site. Probably knows that everyone has since rotated back. Pixie no longer playing downstairs for the C4, no longer playing in this round as Twizzler takes him out from that office barricade. Bry making sure that no one's going to be able to work up a blue flank, but there's Riot to die thanks to Jack playing in this wall. Even though it's open, he's still taking the fights. I like this angle from Bry, but at least so far, Jack's not taking the bait, not peeking into it. The time is ticking for WW. They've lost the man count. Jack is starting to walk up on it. Bry maybe has the info, but loses the swing to Akabil, overswings that Valkyrie and leaves Twizzler in the clutch.
I don't have to clutch this out, but it's not very likely. I mean, you've seen 6 Karma in plenty of those near clutch situations. Maybe Twizzler wants to go for one of his own. 6 Karma love peeking here in these man advantages. They are all so kill hungry. As you see Akibiel just going and running out into blue hallway and even swinging top mez. But I mean, 6 Karma looked better in that round. It really came off of just good play, sitting there waiting, but also throwing away a little bit of their man advantage. They were just toying around a little bit too much with Wichita Wolves, and the Wolves had an opportunity to make something happen, but better play by 6 Karma that round.
Yeah, and losing their hard breach first, I mean, just kind of enabled that entire round for 6K. Like not being able to wall up on the wall, forcing to just kind of take swings in office and bait for kills, and 6 Karma. Sure, they gave them a couple opportunities, but they didn't give them enough. Now WW have to attack onto bar once again, where they were oh so close. Fish able to walk into the site and almost single-handedly open it up for his team, but got refragged, and there it seemed like there was some mistiming and miscommunication from the attack. Wichita Wolves have shown that they can fix some of these issues without JJ, as we saw from Clubhouse. And if they want to take Chalet, probably going to have to see them do the same in this round or the next.
Now, Fish has been the difference maker so far on the Wichita attack. They kind of just let him in and make him find an entry. When they do that, they bust right on into the holes that 6 Karma have on their defenses, and they usually get pretty close, if not are successful. Unfortunately, it's not successful this time around, or that most recent time around.
What do you?
No way! Again, he's like
he's alive.
Why? And it. Okay, that's frustrating because like
UMP
it's
moment.
the UMP. It's the UMP. It does no damage, sure, but also like you were just missing on a guy that's standing still, putting a breach charge on the front.
I can't believe Twizzler had the balls to do that. That guy did not care.
We saw Fish do it the first round too. Fish did it the previous time on bar.
Yeah.
Where he breach charged the castle barricade and Skimsy missed all the shots. At least he hit some of it and did some damage, but still, like that should be a freebie.
And alas, it was not. So 6 Karma, you know, still won the round without getting that first pick, you know, the previous time. And you've still got your whole dining extension. The attack aren't any closer to clearing out because you missed those shots. So, you know, no harm, no foul. It's still damage done to Twizzler, so he's going to be a little bit less effective on that Zoe. Nice driving from Riot. We'll get the Rotero drone right on that shield. So blue clear, done. Minute 20 in. Now they have to worry about Morphed. They've got some hard breach going. Morphed, of course, has his impacts. Well, he had one impact. He already used it. And now he'll lose that small bit of cover that he once had. Of course, it's not, you know, completely open, so he's still got a nice angle to play with, but a little bit more dangerous now, and that'll prompt him to fall back.
You're not too comfortable there in that mezzanine position, especially when you've got so many attackers looking at you and all these different cutoffs. You have the mezzanine, you have the case window, you have the library window. I mean, you have everything. Fish turns on to Skimsy and flips the script. Also brings down Jack here from the balcony. Some of the over-aggressive peaks really starting to show through from 6 Karma, and Fish winning his gunfights, being known for winning a lot of their gunfights. 6 Karma falling into the trap. They are a KBO. Not able to kill Riot. Again, another kill getting away here from 6 Karma. The C4 doesn't get to the window. I mean, this round is just a blunderfest.
Well, I mean, at the very least, Twizzler, Riot, and Fish lower on HP than they once were. Now Pixie, almost dead. The nade from the Iana coming in, but can't get the kill. Fish is there for his third, though. Looking for his fourth. He'll nab it. Finally, his reign of terror will come to an end thanks to Morph shooting him in the back, but it's a 1 versus 3. No chance for a clutch. Not a close round this time. WW lock it out. The foot of the Wamai being spotted by the Hibana, and there's the finisher. 4 kills from Fish to give WW their 3rd point.
Fish going absolutely huge that round. No doubt about it. But I saw that 1v4 opportunity, and I saw Morphed was one of those players in that 1v4, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
Wichita Wolves.
1v3
like
with 2 people, 1 shot. Like,
yeah, like very doable. And they're known for these clutches. They're very good players and love taking those fights. Wichita Wolves haven't been incredible in their post-plant positioning, but they've had just enough numbers in a lot of their rounds to where they're able to kind of take advantage of so. 6 Karma, though, picking defense on Chalet. This is the side they chose to start on, so hopefully a better result coming for when they go to their attack, because they really need to even it up if they want to have, like, a semi-solid, like, successful half here on Chalet.
something else I'm gonna keep note of is how often an opening pick or just a kill in general from WW like spirals into a man advantage, because it's definitely happened a few times. Like that last round is one example, but it happened on Clubhouse, it happened on Villa, where like Wichita Wolves will be in a position, someone like Fish will be in a position to get an opener, and then they immediately expect an attempted refrag, and that gives them another kill. And it's something that I'm now like I'm like remembering and picking up on. I'm gonna have to ask one of the members of WW if they end up winning this game. Of course, there's still a whole half a map to go. 6 Karma have the opportunity to tie the half and end it 3-3, and they'll try to do so on basement. So all 4 sites being played now for the defense. Skimzy using 2 impacts to force Fish out of Big Garage. They really want to make sure that IQ is not going to get a back solo alert.
Fish in a barrel. But the main wall to get opened up, so nice and easy. There's nothing really to deny the walls from actually getting opened up. There's no bandit on the board, and obviously Cade being banned. It's going to be very easy to get these walls open, but I like this defensive extension. Heavy emphasis on the mezzanine and top floor of Fireplace by 6 Karma, and they're going to force Wichita Wolves to clear them out if they want anything to do with going for some sort of front side execute. This means Wichita Wolves, more than likely, they're going to have to audible. They're going to have to go for this backside, but they've also got to deal with the Tachanka in Boiler.
I didn't even realize that shield was there. I saw the
I had
Tachanka.
no
I didn't
clue.
even know the shield was pushed out red. But they deal with it. They deal with it pretty easily. That forces Pixie to behind the pillar. Wow, this defense is challenging everything. They're even fighting the front door. Lucy now ascending the stairs. And I mean, the more they move around, the tougher it's going to be for the Wolves to try and track them down. Now they have to worry about a Malusi on the top floor. They've got to worry about the Solus that they saw West Main earlier. That's a weird Banshee. It's just kind of on the middle of the wall, but, you know, it's going to make the attack have a little bit more trepidation when they push down through Trench, and Skimzy comes down those West Main stairs to shoot off the Selma. So he'll only be able to do, I think, 1 out of the 2 charges, and he's got this hatch open, and he's worried about a potential Claymore or someone watching it, but for now, I think that's Fish. He's pushed all the way up and looking to walk into the site. Twizzler's our first casualty thanks to Morphed. One of those roamers, the guy we saw go to the top floor. In comes Skimzy walking down towards Laundry Hall, just holding on to West Main, probably waiting for someone like Riot to walk down those stairs, unaware of the Solus's position. But for now, he'll hold firm, and with 30 seconds left, the Wolves rotate Case. Oh wait, Case is in sight. I didn't even realize Bino's just in. And Morphed is just going to kill this guy.
Why is he planting there? On the pillar. That's not the best place to go for a plant.
Might not matter anyways.
Yeah, but it's clutchable. Very clutchable here for AQBO. Diffuser is near him in pocket, potentially, but now he's stuck. He'll lose it out. Fish and Wichita Wolves continuing to win their gunfights. A story that we couldn't say so on Villa, but here on after Clubhouse and now here on Chalet, very much a different Wichita Wolves team and much more capable of winning those 1v1 fights.
The garage take, like, that caught me off guard, the fact that they just kind of walked into red, especially with the flank happening from Solus, but I mean, it worked out. The plant location, you're right, was kind of odd. I don't know why he just didn't break the barrel and plant there. That would have been a lot safer. Maybe they thought they had control of connector with where Fish was, but the planter died. At least Fish got the refrag. He ended up getting 2 from the breach before walking in and getting his 3rd. So Fish proves yet again just how integral he's been to the Wolves' success so far in this match as a whole, really. But now the Wolves have to prove to us that they can do it on defense.
Well, we'll have to see. I think they've been very good, though, at winning their fights. Just comes down to, can they do it on the other side? They've got different weaponry at their disposal now, and someone that I think that needs to wake up for Wichita, Rye. He's a player that's a very big impact player, very important for getting a lot of their kills, and very quiet on the leaderboard, especially in some of these more roamy operators as well as their entry operators. They're on attack. Not finding the scoreboard is so heavily as much as Fish, who's really been a difference maker and is changing the way that Wichita Wolves are having to play, but almost in a good way, at least as of recent. As Villa, not great, but Clubhouse and Chalet look much more refined here for Wichita.
I'm waiting to see what happens right here with Pixie and Bri. Oh, Bri ran away. Boo.
When
Playing
scared.
smart. Playing smart. Boo.
scared.
Now he's got to worry about the Roteros, which are promptly coming through the window, and he's not going to be able to shoot it because that's really hard to do, shooting a Flores there. So he'll not only lose his shield, he'll also lose his ADSs, but he won't lose his confidence. Still walking on up, seeing another Rotero, making sure it's not going to look like too much info. As Pixie gets damaged by his own team's breaching charge. But, I mean, a really quick clear of top blue, but they still have to worry about, of course, the player in the library corner, probably Riot on Doc, and then the player on Chimney as well. Actually, the Chimney guy might be Doc. Now that I look at the silhouettes.
They've dealt with some of that kitchen pressure, though. And Fish is over there? So, can Fish get a floor bang? Or is he in the basement? I think he's in the basement.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is. Okay, dude. If he was in kitchen, that is prime real estate. He still might have that opportunity, though. I mean, it's only air jabs somewhere around, and Morphed more than likely has already taken a pretty good amount of damage that may have come from impacts from Fish, actually, from below. So some of that air jab and flank denial getting damaged. Wichita Wolves looks like in prime position here to just continue to hold.
Dude, the Aruni punch holes. I didn't even notice. That's comical. Just all the way along the wall. I think Riot just fell back.
No way, Morph just walks in,
Slizzer's going to get the lead-off kill, but 2 players from 6 Karma respond. A 4 versus 3, though Morphed and Jack are lit up. The angle through the floor taken by the Frost deals some damage, but there's Fish with the finisher coming up the blue stairs. Now we're back to equal. And things from 6 Karma look to slow down after they lose the Nomad, who we saw trying to push up the hallway. Fish is allowed up the stairs, gets the flick on Jack, but Twizzler hits the floor right after. Almost another for Fish, but felled by Akabil, leaving Bino in a 1 versus 2, but it's very doable. Pixie and Akabil lit up, but Bino unaware of Pixie's position, already placing himself in lobby, turning around and killing the Frost, saving the round for 6 Karma.
Fish is the alpha wolf. I mean, just going nuts. 14 kills right now across this map, and that's in 7 rounds. He's got 2 kills a round. And he's doing a damn good job. I mean, he's really the reason why Wichita Wolves are in this match. And 6 Karma don't have an answer. They can't kill Fish. They don't know what to do with him. And they need to take some time and really figure out, how are we going to deal with this problem? Fish is the problem. Go deal with the problem. And that is what 6 Karma, they need to make the adjustment. They got to figure out, how can we deal with Fish? How can we kill him? And Wichita Wolves need to figure out, how can we protect Fish? Fish is the only one of us winning all of our gunfights in a very superior manner. How can we continue to help and aid him in doing so?
I'm going to aid you in doing so.
Yo. Maybe in January.
True! Being... Oh, I just said a swear word. Dude, I was about to talk about Ohio and it just slipped out. Sorry, Ferme. Sorry. I was gonna say we're gonna be in frickin' Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
Hell on Earth. Actually, no, that's not true.
There's nothing to do there, though.
Hell on Earth is
Ohio.
What's it called? Cleveland. That's the city. That's hell on Earth.
It's still Ohio. There's nothing there.
Bro, nothing makes me more mad. Like, TikTok has ruined the Ohio joke. Like, I'm so angry. TikTok is actually just degeneracy incarnate.
See, that's why I don't touch TikTok.
I have to. Serena sends me TikToks. She'll be
That's
mad at me.
unfortunate.
I know.
She'll be mad.
Never
That's how
get
you
married,
just tell
guys.
her you watch it.
I'm just kidding. Don't get mad at me.
Don't get mad.
All
at
good.
me.
Big winner repel from Morphed. As I
Timing.
quickly change topics, just narrowly misses one of those rotates from the defenders. So he'll miss out on the opportunity for a kill. Bino's looking to fight it. Smartly takes a single angle, and Riot, I think, just ran out. I think Riot just got a run out kill. Bino gets very swiftly refragged by Skimzy, who has made his way into Closet. And now the Wolves have to figure out how to take this Iana out. Luckily, Bryce downstairs gets one and another on a Pixie. 2 for the alibi. Akabil's downed. Skimzy's the last one left. And he's not even able to kill Riot. Wichita Wolves, despite completely losing sight control, still win the round because Bryce is downstairs.
6 Karma. This is probably the time to call a timeout. In all reality, if you're going to call a timeout at any point, this is probably the time. This is where you really need to do so because you're struggling bad. And it's just not looking great right now. There's no answer for Wichita Wolves, and you need these rounds. I mean, you gotta send yourself into the next round. This is the end of SCS for you if you don't.
Indeed.
Need to locate and defuse bombs.
2 rounds. 2 rounds, Mason. And Wichita Wolves will have upended all of our predictions, except Joe.
Located by attackers.
I hate Joe.
Me too.
Or I'm really gonna hate him. He gets his prediction.
You and
'cause
me,
he's
let's,
gonna be in
let's jump
Columbus.
Joe in Columbus. You hear me,
Joe, you better watch out. Joe, you better watch
You better
out.
sleep with one eye open.
Joe's gonna get jumped by a
10 seconds.
5'4" man and a dude with a bald forehead.
I think Joe could take us. I can't lie.
I think Joe might take us. I don't know, just
Attackers are heading
pretty
out to
skinny.
defuse the
There's a chance.
You
just gotta go for the legs.
Joe is like literally an athlete.
Listen, I'll just flash him with my forehead. You just
Bro,
gotta.
Joe will.
Yeah, he might outrun us.
Joe will dead ass just step on me and then take the one with you.
But you might be into that. So.
Joe, step on me.
Yep, there it goes. There it goes.
All good.
Yeah. Well, currently, Wichita Wolves are stepping on 6 drama right now. So
Oh,
at
wow!
least you guys have something,
That guy got
something in
fried!
common. But Fish gone, that's how you deal with the problem. I tell you what, the comms of 6 karma right now, I don't speak much Spanish, but they're saying Fish is dead, we can win.
Bueno.
Because
That's
that's
good.
been their biggest problem all game. Fish. Kill fish, kill fish, kill fish. This rest of the Wichita Wolves team, still very good and very capable of winning out a round, even with Fish not on the board.
Good in Spanish. Is it bueno or bien? Or both?
Fish está muerto, podemos ganar.
Wow, that
is what
was
they
white
say.
as hell.
That
Bro, I just thought if they're like, oh,
that's what
like
Zaysha
fish that très bien.
So Zaysha lives in Puerto Rico, so he
Wait.
speaks Spanish. So he just said
Très
it, and I
bien.
just kind of
oh
read
wait,
it
no,
out.
très bien
but-
is French, isn't it? I just said it with a Spanish accent. No, it's très bien. All
I
good.
don't know, I don't
Anyway,
speak French.
Jack gonna open up that office wall, integral to pushing upstairs, and Bino just fried the life out of Morphed. Wow, through the wall, I think. So, great equalizer there. They'll begin to open the sight wall as well. Akabil is allowed up short despite the footholds. He's got a drone, looking to maybe go for a fish play here. Just walk into the site. Seeing that it's relatively clear. Yeah, Bino's the only guy in here that can stop this from happening. But Fry, swift to deal with the problem. I don't even know where from. I think maybe Trophy Stairs. Yeah, that looks to be where he's playing. Stops Akabil from walking in and running amok. And that is huge. Now a 4 versus 3 for 6 Karma to try and play with, but they'll even the odds. Skimzy goes 1 for maybe 1 as he's put on the floor. And there's no one in position to res.
Yeah, it looks like Riot was able to get that down.
my
Bino will
God,
bring down
Bino.
Jack, and Wichita Wolves are just
Oh.
running away with it. Riot from the top floor, bringing down the player walking up the mezzanine, and Wichita Wolves just look better. And 6 Karma yet to call a timeout, and now it's match point, series point, SCS playoffs point for Wichita Wolves.
This is pivotal. 6 Karma have so far not lived up to expectations. Bino just went ham on site playing with a 1.5 for 3 kills.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Sorry, for 2 kills.
Attackers discovered the location.
And then
of the
Riot
bomb.
upstairs. Make sure that that guy holding top floor was not long for this world. Played the trade really well, knowing that if they lost upstairs control, they may have lost the round. Obviously not a guarantee, especially because of the site presence they had and 6 Karma's inability to perform vert in that round. But knowing that if they lost upstairs control, if they let this guy just keep staying up there, then it might have been a harder retake come that post plant, if it happens. Riot trades out his teammate. They go 1 for 1, and from there, I mean, the round is just over.
5 seconds remaining.
Pixie and Morphed continuing to be these players that are driving the train right now for 6 Karma, but that train is slowing down, if not derailing very soon. Wichita Wolves just continue to drive the momentum, and 6 Karma This is where some of your Mexican professionalism has to come in. This is where your experience has to go through, right? This is where you need to sit here and clutch up. You can't fall to the pressure, but that is not good. 2 drones down by Twizzler immediately. I mean, you're sending 2 drones through the same window. It gets the same amount of information. These are just poorly made choices by
Did that just do
Karma.
1
That
damage?
nade did nothing to Twizzler.
He's gonna heal
full
up the
stand?
1 damage, bro. Nah.
He's trying to heal through the nades that come through. That's what he's waiting for. He's waiting for a nade to come get him. But I think he's gonna jump in. Like, they have nothing, and Akibio dies.
That's Flores.
Not a good start.
Yeah, that is.
For Wichita Wolves. And whenever Wichita get the opening pick, they tend to start with a man advantage, but they've got it. They've got the 43. Skimzy nearly dies as he hops into the library window, just ego chowing
Yeah.
the dock.
I mean,
But 6 Karma just, they
Got his
don't
one.
look good here. They don't look good here.
Skimzy got his 1, but unfortunately, Fish
It's
had
out
the
to the
trade and the
Pokeball!
impact. Knowing exactly where he was, Skimzy's now on the floor. Pixie, in order to res his teammate, has to jump into library with someone still playing on Chimney. What is Pixie and Morph to do? They've got to deal with a crossfire. Someone's come up to help Riot. Bino's holding the angle through the double window, too. There is no chance this line's going to be able to jump in. Is that going to be the play? They're flashing in. In comes the Iana, heavily lit up, but Bino can't get the kill. They, at the very least, make it into library. The res being completed. Skimzy's now up. Back to a 3v4, but not a lot of HP to work through. Almost less than a full man. Pixie now below 50 HP. Now, less than a full player's worth of HP between these 3 players, but Bino has been downed and is on the floor. Skimzy needs this kill on Riot, on the Chimney, if they want any hope of winning this round, but he's not going to look towards Bry. Prone by the glass case. Morphed about to get swung. Takes out Riot. The Wamai doesn't see him. The downed player finished off as well. Morphed and Pixie are in the bomb site, but now Morphed is down, and there's no case control for either of these 2 players. Pixie is going to have to go absolutely massive, but he's going to res his teammate. Hatch control in the favor of the defense. Here comes Bry. He'll strike. Fish finishes it, and Wichita Wolves upend expectations. They don't need JJ. They make playoffs anyway and send 6 Karma home.
Swap out 1 goat for another. JJ out, Fish in, and Fish going huge again. I mean, probably near a 50 bomb on this series. Especially Map 2 Clubhouse had a seal. It was one of the primary reasons why Wichita was able to be so successful. And then here on Chalet, showing off a 7-3 victory for Wichita Wolves over 6 Karma, and well-deserved, especially after an abysmal start on Villa for Wichita. They turned the things around. Everyone was doubting them, but here they are. An upset win over 6 Karma, ending 6 Karma's run in SCS and promoting themselves into the playoffs.
I also wasn't going to talk about this unless it happened, but... So, first of all, we all thought 6 Karma was a shoo-in, and I wasn't going to have to talk about this. But Wichita Wolves just won, so now I do. Mason, do you know how the tiebreakers work in our league? So, it's a system that comes from chess called the Buchholz system, right?
Yes.
So basically, you take the points of all the opponents you played, add them up, and that's your Buchholz number. That's your tiebreaker number. Right now, Wichita Wolves are sitting at a 27. You know who's also sitting? Well, they're sitting at a 27, and then they just played 6 Karma, so they're now at a 33, right? You know who's also going to be at 33?
Who's that?
The winner of Astralis Vipers. The tiebreaker comes down to who wins Aerial Arise versus IF. Because between Astralis, Vipers, and WW is the only one to play either of those teams, and that team was AAA. So if AAA ends up winning, WW's Buchholz number increases because AAA's point total increases.
Yep.
And WW will take 6th seed, bumping Astralis, the winner of Astralis Vipers, down to 7th. So
and that
we actually do have to wait till the end of tomorrow to figure out what the seeding is going to be.
And that means most likely, if that was the case, assuming S2's up there in the seeding because they were one of the other 3-0 teams, I assume Oxygen was first seed or somewhere around
No,
there.
S2 actually has a
No?
better
Oh,
better BH.
So if Astralis finished with the lowest, then I assume that we could see like an Astralis S2 game, or
no,
we see an
so
Oxygen Astralis
there's
game.
no way, because AAA and IF are at 18 are at 18 BH, and Astralis and Vipers are at 27. There's no way for either AAA or IF to not come in the last playoff spot.
Okay.
So I think one of those two guys are going to play S2. But either way,
so Astralis
We'll-
Oxygen then, more than likely.
maybe.
That's
That
crazy.
actually could
If
be
they
possible,
win,
yeah.
yeah.
But we will
Wow.
burn that bridge when we get to it. 7-3 for WW, showing up and showing out. Fish, 17-7, having a hell of a game. And finally, we see someone up there with Fish and Bry. Riot, 7-5, having a hell of a performance on this map, not just in the kills, but just exuding his presence almost every single round. He was a pivotal member of this team coming on this map. Off of a terrible first two maps in this series, Riot was a game changer here. Great to see him step up. Bino, sure, he's -2, but he was still putting in work. Twizzler, 4-8, but 2-1 on entry. He was still getting those openers. Meanwhile, on 6K, 10-8 for Pixie, 9-9 for Morphed, Akabil, and Skimzy across the entire series. They weren't absent, but they were surprisingly ineffective.
They were quiet tonight, and this was the night that they needed to show up most, and those X factors for Six Karma rather not showing up. Brian had mentioned in the half of the Chalet map, I said Brian needs to step up if Wichita want to take this, and he did. He went from being like 3-6 to 9-6 or 9-7. He just went off.
Something like
Right?
that, yeah.
Those are big things. Those are the things that need to happen for a team like Wichita Wolves to be successful. You can't just rely on one player. You need some help, and that supportive crew came around Wichita. On the other end, for Six Karma, they just could not find the support around Morphed and Pixie in order to be able to step up. And they're both very good players, but they've never been those super hard carries that can get you all the way through.
Right? You talk about Mort and Pixie not having the support because they're usually the support. Like, they're usually the guys on the back end ensuring that Skimzy and Akabil are getting those kills. Unfortunately, Skimzy and Akabil were not here today, but you know who was? Wichita Wolves and Bino, who I will be interviewing after this game. Can't wait to talk to him.
Can you hear me?
There we go, Bino.
There we go.
Huge win for you guys. So
Thank you,
first of
guys.
all, I think this is the first time I get to interview you. So
I
here
think
we
so,
go.
yeah.
A first. Bino, so first of all, right, because you guys lost your last series, talk to me about replacing JJ. You know, he's a pivotal member of pretty much every single team he's on. He's the main voice. I think right now it's you and Riot kind of co-calling stuff. So how was it losing JJ, adjusting to that, and then acclimating Fish into the system?
Yeah, so it's obviously a big change. JJ's the main guy of our team, plays the Heartbreak, she calls everything. So obviously it's a big loss that we can't play the rest of SCS with him. So we were looking at options to replace him. We picked up Fish. So it's kind of like a different system now that we're rocking with, because Fish is a true entry, kind of just gets in there and kill kind of player. So yeah, we're adapting kind of around the new system. So me and Riot are playing more of a support role and calling on that. But yeah, there's definitely like some hiccups you guys saw, and Villa was just terrible. Like,
Oh yeah.
we were not warmed
Oh,
up
yeah.
enough. Like, you know, it was bad. So we need to iron some things out. But yeah, I'm still happy that we were able to get the win. I think it shows a lot to our like potential and skill that even in some of our like maybe not our best performances and the best days, that we can still take down some good teams. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Because right, Six Karma, they came second in Mexican, like the Mexican Pro League final. So there's certainly no slouches, and you guys came out with a completely different system and still were able to beat them 2-1. So first of all, we'll go for the negatives. Let's talk about Villa. You know, I certainly had some words on Villa. Hopefully you guys don't take it to heart, you know, when it comes to the VOD review. But you guys were in so many seemingly infallible positions, and then something would happen, like there was either a whiff or a misposition, and Six Karma would just run in and get the kills. What was like the biggest problem there? Was it comms, or was it just basic co-op?
I mean, it's just the default. It's like when you play Siege, sometimes you just, especially against Six Karma, they're such a fast-paced team that sometimes you just like forget to do the basics in a round. So, I mean, we were saying this too. Like in the actual match, we were getting the entries almost every single round, but we just could not
Yeah.
we were not closing out the rounds to the way we needed to, which like we identified the issue, and I think we did a better job of that on next 2 maps. But
Yes.
yeah, it's something as well, losing your IGL, which kind of like we're all kind of used to a system where like we'll get the picks and then we're all being told to like microed or told where to play. So losing that guy, we're gonna have to figure out for ourselves. I think we know how to do it, but like I said, I mean, just support map, like we weren't happy with that performance, so I'm glad that we were able to turn it.
Yeah, you guys definitely made the adjustments between maps. And talking about between maps, you know, different bans coming out on Clubhouse than we saw on the previous 2 maps. You know, first of all, talk to me about why you're banning Dokkaebi and why you left her up on Clubhouse rather than Villa and Chalet.
Yeah, so in this new meta, this season, Doke is very strong now. Obviously, she's got the impact EMPs, the phone calls where you can't hold cams. Clubhouse is a map. It's a little bit, it's more structured, so sometimes you can't really afford to bring a Doke. They obviously
Gotcha.
were,
Yeah.
which we didn't really anticipate, but on those more faster paced maps like Villa and Chalet, we decided to drop it. But that just is what it is. We just play it map by map and kind of see what you're feeling as a team, yeah.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And then, you know, going from Villa to Clubhouse, what was the biggest thing you focused on, you know, knowing your mistakes on Villa and then going into a map like Club that plays a little bit differently? What was kind of the biggest things going through your guys' mind?
It just closing out rounds, to be honest. Like, our Villa was really poor, but we were doing the hardest, like the hard parts of the rounds. We were getting the picks that we needed to do. We just couldn't set up the round in the way we needed to. So we focused on Club, just like really just slowing down, taking every single pick by pick, and just like fully resetting, making them actually come into swing. So yeah, just getting back to the basics and running the fundamentals was how we should win Club. Chalet.
And let me know too if this was part of your game plan or if it was just like kind of lucky timing and info. But I noticed too, after Villa, come Club and Chalet, it seemed like whenever you guys got that opening pick, either the first pick of the round or like an important pick on a roamer or site, so many times it was spiraled into another, like it seemed like you guys were ready and waiting for someone on 6K to go refrag. Was that like part of the game plan, or did things just kind of work out that way?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say it's part of the game plan because we knew that they were going to be extremely aggressive. It's the nature of how they play. But I mean, when you got a team with Brian Fish on entry positions, it's really easy to kind of like, it made me and Riot's life pretty easy, just starting them in, and we were setting ourselves up in the good positions to get the trades on the, because we always knew they were going to get a re somewhere. They're going to go and try to swing us. So, that was a good part of our game too.
And then speaking of Fish too, and
my God,
and celebration of this being our first interview and it being in T3, I have to hit you with a T3 special. So in round 3, at about 25 seconds in the round, right, we saw that drone kind of initially in sight. And then a few, like 10, 20 seconds later, Fish was just walking up, kind of like one of those old Gasher Vladder plays. I mean, what was the specific thing you saw in sight, and what was it that really allowed Fish to just walk on in and take that control?
Yeah, no, we were setting up like a normal clear, but the way we cleared that, we had a cam in position in the basement. So I was on that cam, and me and Fish just kind of saw a window. He was like, listen, Bino, just show me up West Bay and we'll make it work. So I joined them up, and there's just a huge window. They were just all offsite, so we just kind of collapsed with the team. And I mean, yeah, Fish is such a good entry player. Like, it's unreal having a guy like that on your team. He just sees so many windows that he can call. He's a phenomenal player. He helps us out.
Especially dropping 41 kills, I think,
My God,
in total. Yeah, that guy was putting rounds together. So Bino, very happy I finally got to talk to you. Huge congrats on the win. Even though you don't have JJ, you guys still pull out and go to playoffs. Again, shout out to Fish. You know, tell him he did a friggin' hell of a job. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't need me to tell him that. I'm sure he knows. Yeah, but again, congratulations. Thanks for the interview. Anything you want to say before we switch off?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're looking forward to playoffs. Obviously, teams will underestimate us because no JJ, but I mean, we're here to play. We can still compete at a high level. So yeah, looking forward to playoffs.
Sweet. Me too, man. I'm excited to see what you guys pull out. Again, congrats and have a great night.
Thanks, Crow. You too.
Say show. There we go. All right, now on to the game stats. You heard it there, Clims. I'm glad they've got a new system running. Fish seems to be acclimated to the roster. It just seemed like WW, right? Villa was shaky. Bino admitted that, and then it just seemed like over the course of the series, they got better and better and better.
Yeah, sometimes you just have those maps. Every team has a map and it's just a bad map. But Wichita Wolves showing resiliency and just bouncing back. Fish clearly piggybacking off of that. I mean, plus 17 on the day. Insane numbers. You know, LeBron numbers, one could argue. From Fish, a 1.24
I was right.
kills per
41 kills.
round and almost a 1.5 rating. So Fish really showing out, showing big. Bry maintaining that big headshot percentage that we saw earlier on.
Oh my
The rest of Bino, Riot, Twizzler, all showing up, even if it's not in the biggest way possible. This team just simply dominated the lobby when it came to map 2 and map 3.
Yeah, and with Fish going plus 17, Fish had as many kills in the last map as he does KD differential. And like Twizzler too, he's 18 and 27. He's definitely lagging behind his teammates, but he's also 5 and 2 on entry. So there were still rounds where Twizzler was getting these huge openers, especially on Chalet. I think we were seeing him get some really good openers and really good opening picks into the site itself, where you saw Twizzler shine. And you just saw it, Six Karma, Morphed and Pixie having a hell of a day. But if you have Morphed and Pixie consistently being the performers across 3 maps, it means Skimzy and Akabil aren't doing their job to their fullest capability. And again, reflected in the stats, reflected in the entry engagements that went, I think, heavily Wichita Wolves' way, and reflected in the series as a whole. It seemed like, especially, on Clubhouse, and then almost 100% of the way on Chalet, WW's ability to get that opening frag and control the pacing of like the entire map, really round by round, I think really benefited them in the end and allowed them to take the series.
Yeah, it was a really good match overall by Wichita. They just made the better adjustments. They were the better players at the end of the night. Six Karma, just one of those extra players, could have showed up, maybe could have changed the entire tide of how this match finished out. But that's going to do it for Crow and I. There's still one more game to go. Blue Panda and Light Rose will take the reins on for that. But Crow, it's a fun time. Pleasure as always. And don't go away for too long. Stick around, and V and Blue Panda will take things over.
On a double though, and he